What's up?
What's up, man?
A little snafu there. Were you playing some music on your phone?
No, I didn't actually intentionally mean to do that.
You didn't see me over here like unmuting your mic?
No, I did not.
What would you listen to over there?
No, I wasn't listening to it. So I was uploading to our story, and you know when you close out the story on Instagram, like it goes back to what my title was.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was someone else, and it was like their little. I had it muted. And I was like, oh shit. So I don't know who it was. It wasn't twerking or anything. It was just something else.
It was a dude.
It was a dude. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, welcome to the podcast, everybody. Likes, share, subscribe, comment.
10,000 friends share.
10,000 friends. Don't forget that 10,000. Kind of a special episode today, I suppose.
Yeah, it's episode 20. That's huge.
Right.
20 weeks. Everybody's been. We know you're listening.
It's the first time we've been able to get into the studio since the passing of the Queen. So,
It's been a rough couple days. So
for everybody, I think.
I mean for the entire world.
You're right. Yeah,
Also for me.
Right. It's which if
Special guest.
by the way, because of the Queen's passing, we decided to bring on one of our friends who's a Queen expert.
Actually, yes, part of her court.
Queen expert. Right. It's one of her subjects.
Actually,
RIP.
I like that.
Right. But he's just a mere peasant. And we decided to bring him on to get the peasant view of the Queen's passing, right? So welcome to the podcast, Jacko.
Ooh, there he is.
What, governor?
What is it? I finally get to say long-time listener, first-time caller.
First-time caller.
But I had to call him.
Oh, yeah, we did have to call him. Yeah, that was fun. So, we have a you don't like to be called a Brit, do you? Or is Brit?
No, I'm English.
English.
That's
right.
Okay, that's the word.
That's
That's the proper term.
Right, yeah, because you kind of gave me shit before whenever I say the word Brit or British or something like that, right?
Don't toss me in with the Scots, the Welsh, and the fucking Irish.
There you go. All right, yeah, casual racism. I love it.
There, I love it. Drink it in.
Right.
With tea, that is.
Exactly.
The Scots are alcoholics, the Welsh are sheep shaggers, and the Irish are spud munchers.
Scud munchers. What was that word the other day? Chav. I learned a new English word.
What is that?
Day. Chav. It's basically a.
We'll let Jacko tell us.
Okay, yeah.
Because I like that. Go ahead.
I cannot explain what a chav is. I tried the other day and it did not go well.
Well, your comparison I think was correct. A chav is in the States the equivalent would be the Bad Baby, the Catch Me Outside girl. That chick.
That was the comparison I gave. Yeah.
Right.
So she's a chav.
Right. Like
Okay.
wears tracksuits all the time. Right. Like hoop
Big
earrings.
hoop earrings.
Right. That kind of. You're right. Yeah.
Okay.
That kind of look.
Do y'all go by the bigger the hoop, the bigger the hoe? Is that something y'all stick with as well? That's how we do things here.
The bigger the hoop,
the bigger the hoop, the bigger the hoe.
Probably.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we live by.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
What did we get into when we were talking about chav? Oh yeah, I know what it was. There was an infographic about porn searches, right? You know, you've seen the ones like in the United States where it shows like each state and their top porn search.
No, I've never seen that.
You never seen those infographics before?
No.
Well, this one was about it was different parts of the UK, and one of them was like one of the search criteria was chav, and I was like, "The fuck is chav?" It made me I didn't know what it was, so I started looking it up.
What was the biggest demographic? Was it step siblings, stepmom? Was that the biggest?
For the States, we
Yeah,
could look
cut
it
of the
up.
pie.
We could look it up. Let's look that shit up. That's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea.
But,
I don't know how we always end up going into something
Right.
pornography related.
Top, yeah, I know, because we're dudes. Top porn searches by state. I'm guessing.
Do y'all have a lot of them kind of women walking around? Jacko, is that a thing?
Do you know when I was a teenager it was massive? It's sort of died off a bit now. Most people are either pretending to be all this non-binary shit or trans shit, you know.
Yeah, right. No, I understand.
I
think that's now a global issue.
Yeah, no, yeah. I saw some.
I think I saw a study the other day that said 1/3 of Gen Z claims to be not straight.
Shit's busting, man.
Yeah, it's
A whole third.
yeah, it's like 20% of Gen Z are identifies LGBTQ plus I ampersand plus
Alphabet
minus
soup. Alphabet soup.
parentheses closed caption, right?
Got it. Asterisk.
All that. I heard saw someone today. They said if you have pronouns in your bio, then your opinion is trash. Doesn't matter what it is. I think I'm going to start living by that. If I see your pronouns in your bio, then I know your opinion is going to be garbage. Doesn't matter what the subject is.
I would agree with that.
Oh my God, the United States is disgusting.
What? No, what is it?
Okay, so
Yeah, don't fucking share it.
also, I don't like our.
Sex, is it?
There is a furry, and that looks like South Dakota. So
Figures.
So we'll just I'll just go through some of these.
Yeah, hit me with it. Do Tennessee,
right.
of course, first.
Actually, this one's actually more specific. It's actually most popular relative gay searches by state.
Does it have the monkeypox demographic on there too?
Right.
Right next to it?
Probably. Relative tourism more often compared to other states. No, I don't like that one. I want to do individual states. I think this might be it.
You look at something with some color on there, like a good graph.
Yeah, because right. It's an infographic.
You think I bet the United States is up there in the top.
What do you mean?
As far as if it gives you statistics on like how much porn is.
No, this is like search terms.
Just
Pornhub.
okay. All
So
right.
if you go to Pornhub and you search in
It's the type of porn you like.
right?
Oh, okay. I didn't know the hub had that section for statistics. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find.
Usually I
one
just go straight for the tiles. I don't usually go into the number game.
right. Yeah.
Oh,
So-
also, Jacko, we apply by the rules that if you make a profile name or comment on a porn, you're an addict. So,
Yeah, I agree.
okay, I didn't know if you live by the same code.
Yeah, you've gone too far if that happens.
Yep.
I don't really want to do the gay one. The gay one I feel like is skewed.
Yeah, let's just stick to the straight one.
Fucking A. Well, it doesn't have like breakdown of actual states, but this is the relative term searched more often when compared to other states.
Do that.
So I guess then this one has the balance of these searches is a lot more weighted heavily on these states than they are other states. It may not be their top search, but so here's for instance is like the whole West Coast, like Washington, Oregon, Nevada, California, New Mexico is all hentai.
Really?
Yeah,
Actually, that makes sense for the West Coast being the hentai.
bunch of Asians over there. I would assume.
Now, that is
that's kind of
the
their thing.
enemy.
Anti anime porn? Is that?
Yeah, is that what that is?
hentai.
Okay, yeah. We're
Yeah.
on the same page.
Yeah, the whole
I can't
like
get it.
screaming
Yeah,
the whole
I
fucking
can't get
time.
into that.
Shut the fuck up.
I tried it once to look at it, and it's not for me.
Yeah, and
4 seconds in, I was like, I can't handle this.
Right.
This is weird.
I'm also thinking it's like it's
The
not
girl
like,
getting fucked. It sounds like Goku powering up.
right. Yeah, except he has like a 5 foot long cock or something
And
like
his
that. Right?
Kamehameha on somebody's face. I don't want to see that.
Exactly. Fucking
You- you-
octopus
you
shows
can
up.
tell
And you're like, the fuck is this? Right. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah, it's weird, and also it's kind of weird since it's not real. It's animated, right? It's like, oh yeah, that guy drew that girl really hot. Like it's just
Yeah, like
weird.
her, like
'Cause
her.
you know it's a dude
Yeah.
drawing.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's some creep or even woman. Probably. I mean, you can't tell.
I doubt it. It's
Drew
probably
it.
a dude.
Probably.
Right. That's the reason why all the dudes have like ginormous wieners, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they're like, I can improve here.
Right.
That's like if you did it, your guy would have a beard.
Right. If it was a female illustrator, it would be like an average size, something comfortable that they would want to sit on. Right. Not some fucking monster that like blows through her chest.
Yeah, but on those things, it could have like tentacles and a mouth. Like it would be something fucking wild,
exactly.
or like a cape.
Or maybe I'm generalizing. I don't know. Maybe Asian women are there's a lot of illustrators of the hentai
You
variety.
sexist pig.
Sexist piece of shit.
You bigot.
So that's a big category on this map is hentai. So and then we've got stuff like here's the next one is cream pie, and that looks like Montana. Fuck, I don't.
Is that 'cause all the
my
cattle?
states. It's like Midwest.
That's because all the cattle.
Yeah, it's Midwest mostly. Ohio is enjoying the cream pies, and Maine.
Really?
Maine. That's different than the rest. I mean, all the rest of them are all like come at Midwest, except for maybe Ohio. Ohio is weird.
What about our area? What are we looking
So
like?
ours is, so it's in the South. So this actually kind of makes sense.
Okay.
It's black girl, white guy,
I get that. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
right? And that's
wow,
that's
really?
Kentucky, Tennessee, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia,
Holy
and South
shit.
Carolina.
Okay.
right?
Well,
And
now
then-
you know what we're into, Jacko.
Now here's a variant of this
Okay.
is North Carolina though, which is a southern state, is ebony anal.
Ooh, I don't like the way that sounds.
So they probably like black girl, white guy, but only in the ass.
Not only in the ass.
I like to see the pink in the gape.
Jesus Christ. Oh, I didn't see all hentai on here. Also, is in Florida.
What's Jacko's area?
So we want to look at the UK.
Let's go over there to UK.
Yeah, some other ones that are not as funny is like you got cheerleader, boring, lesbian. That's Texas.
Every now and then.
That's Texas.
Yeah, that's sprinkled.
Indiana, West Virginia. Looks like New York, Rhode Island, maybe. And then what the fuck? What the hell is Alaska doing? Alaska's is
bestiality.
Alaska's is do not come challenge.
Just give me a second, Alaska. Sorry,
Alaska. Yeah, so they do not come challenge. I don't know what that is exactly. Do not come challenge. Look one up.
All right.
Are you muted?
Come on.
Actually, it doesn't matter.
Give me Yorkshire in the UK. What are we watching?
All right, what are we? All right, and then here's some other weird ones. Is giantess?
What is that?
I don't know.
Jacko, what is that?
Big bitches? No, it's like a giantess, like a giant woman. No,
Lord.
that's weird. Doesn't make sense. All right, I know.
Jesus.
It's found the UK top porn search.
Okay, so that's actually a thing. So that's a real thing.
What is?
You guys thought Americans were weird.
So the don't come challenge is a real thing.
They actually have broken down like top searches in Scotland and Ireland and everything. Damn, Pornhub is like fucking got spreadsheets and graphs of fucking everything.
There's a 5-minute stamina test.
Interesting. See if I can pass. I'll try that tonight. Alrighty, let's see. Top searches. I want to see it by area. That one. What was that one graphic? Where did I see that? Oh, here we go. Boom. All right. United Kingdom's top relative searches. Right. Search terms searched more often in each region when compared to others. Oh. So Scotland is all about the pegging.
Oh,
right.
That's a shock.
They search pegging more in Scotland than they do any other region of the UK. Right, it's pegging.
I probably should mention that my mother was Scottish, so I probably shouldn't be poking these jabs.
Now it's forever on the internet. Northern Ireland is mature. Oh, the fuck?
No, mature just means 18 plus. That's all that means. It's mature.
I think that would be barely legal.
Yeah, that means cougar. That means cougar.
No, I don't think so, because cougar's its own category.
Google mature on Pornhub and find out right now.
Don't Google mature.
Don't Google mature.
Pornhub mature.
Yeah, Pornhub search mature.
All right.
I guarantee you the first tile's going to be like some
Right,
granny getting fucked.
Please continue.
Right.
That pussy's going to have some wrinkles.
Right. Exactly.
Well, you got to count the rings.
Right, exactly.
See how many times she's been fucked.
76 rings. How about that?
Okay, you guys were right.
Boom. There you go.
You're right. The first one is nope. It's horrible. Yep.
Right.
It's certified, checked. It's terrible. Like
Then they've
just read that first title. Yeah, it's terrible.
Granny, give me a blowjob. All right,
No,
cool.
it's not. It's a gum job.
A gum job.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. This is horrible.
Gross.
Just gives a sec, guys. I'm just adding that to the bucket list.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, everybody's slowly writing it down in their little note tab. Like,
exactly.
okay, well,
Bookmark.
save, and not sure.
All right. So to continue UK's descent into depravity, we've got northeast area is chav, what we were talking about, and then northwest is chubby. So you got chavs and chubbies up there.
Well,
in the north, and then
king of the north.
And then in Yorkshire is, or how do y'all say it? Yorkshire?
How do you say that? Yeah.
Yorkshire.
Right.
Yorkshire.
Like
God's country.
God's country. Okay. Which is that's where you reside, correct? Leeds is in Yorkshire or near Yorkshire.
Correct. West Yorkshire.
West Yorkshire.
West Yorkshire.
All right.
Okay. I feel like I'm going to develop an accent. My wife's going to be really excited when I get home tonight.
Well, I feel like it's just like trying to say Worcestershire sauce. Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
It's not Worcestershire.
We're gonna get a lot more subscribers now that we have a British, or not British guy, a Englishman on the show now because women go crazy over that shit over here.
Goddamn red coat. All right, let's see. York Star.
Well, I've already passed the pot to my 10,000 friends.
Okay, perfect.
Sweet.
Then you're in.
If you that's the rule now. If you share with 10,000 friends, you get
You
on
get to
the
be a
pod.
special guest.
We're making that a thing now. Yes.
Are we really doing a thing like that?
Yeah.
That's fucking exciting.
Hell yeah.
All right.
If you share with
Guys,
10,000
if I had
people.
10,000 friends, I would not be speaking to you folks.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
That's true.
You had to earn it.
Right, that's true.
I have to go international to find people that like me.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck. All right.
We're a huge hit in the UK.
Yorkshire is MILF. All about
Okay,
the MILFs.
cool.
Okay. Jacko?
Jacko? Is that?
Yeah, I can see that.
You can
Okay.
say that? Okay.
All right. Well, it's
I got you.
confirmed.
I mean, you were talking about your mother earlier, so.
Yeah, but that's in the
Whoa.
pegging area. Not, yeah.
Alrighty.
At this point, that would also be necrophilia.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I know this, so that's the reason I made that joke. But nobody realizes Jacko's mother is no longer with us, so that's the joke is.
Well, I figured when he said his mom was from, I kind of got the idea
Right.
that I was going to be like, oh, how's she doing?
My mother no longer being with us is not really a joke. I mean, I'm really upset. Tearing up.
Yeah, sorry. I'm so insensitive.
There you go.
Moment of silence on the
R.I.P.
mics.
All right. Okay.
Blessed be the fruit.
May the Lord open. All right. East Midlands, which I don't know what that is exactly, is BBW, and I think that's big. Look up BBW. I can't remember what that acronym
right.
is.
It's either big
big
boobies or
bitches.
big booty.
Yeah, I think it's big bitches is what it is. Big bitches.
I feel like we're really on a place I didn't think we were going to go.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what happened. Thanks, Jacko.
Yeah, we went from the Queen dying to porn.
Right.
What is it?
I think it's a
Can you
natural
do trans-
It's part of
progression.
grieving.
It's a right. Exactly. We all grieve in our
All
own way.
grieve our own ways. What is it? BBW?
Right, BBW. Right.
All right.
I know when I'm grieving, I go into like 48-hour masturbation sessions. So BBW. What is?
Hold on, I'm looking.
Come on now.
Oh, well, I know what BBC is.
Yeah, it's big black cock.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's on here.
It's a W. Is it big black women?
I think so. Because
Okay.
there's not really
No. The other B stands for booty or breasts. I'm not sure which.
BBW. What does it mean? Let me look it up.
Get the Urban Dictionary going.
I'm getting it. They should sponsor our show.
Urban Dictionary. I know we refer to it a lot. It says
Oh, big beautiful
big
woman.
beautiful woman.
So a euphemism for an overweight woman.
There you go.
All right, cool.
All right, and then we've got West Midlands is Indian. I'm guessing there's a large Indian population in the West Midlands.
There could be.
Yeah, that would be Birmingham. I'd imagine there's a lot of Asians in Birmingham, so
got you.
makes sense.
Birmingham, is that like Peaky Blinders? And aren't they from Birmingham?
Yes, that's Peaky Blinders country. Yes,
Yeah.
Do you watch that show, Jacko?
I have watched that show up until before the last season.
Yeah,
I
this
have not watched the
yeah
next
this
season
this
yet.
newest season was not very good.
No,
I'll just
it wasn't.
dab that in there real quick.
Is it the last one?
I
I don't know. I feel
will have to
like-
ask. Garrett's our local expert.
Yeah,
we'll have
ask
to
him.
call him sometime and ask
Yeah,
him.
he's all right. We do have in Wales. It's ASMR, which is a weird
Actually,
porn
those are
search.
not. Well, we had that. Not a special guest. We did a video on the guy that the Golden Elf does ASMR videos.
Yeah, but it's
He's just not getting fucked.
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. We're talking about Pornhub. So if we,
Yeah.
what is an ASMR porn?
It's basically
video
what they'll do
like?
is so if
Is
you
it
get,
just like really close up sounds of?
well,
like
I'm trying to tell you,
pussy?
I've looked him up. You won't let me talk.
No, this is on YouTube. I'm talking. This is
No, I'm talking about
Pornhub.
on the hub.
Really.
Yes.
Okay,
Um,
look it
bit
up.
of
All right, so
domestic.
so tell me what
Anyways,
this is about.
basically it's the same thing, but the sound is closer. So imagine the act of what's happening, but there's
that's what I'm
mics
saying,
everywhere.
yeah.
That's what it is. It's supposed to stimulate. It's just look it up sometime.
No, absolutely.
Just look it
not.
up sometime.
I'm sorry. I don't want to hear like.
No, just it's not what you think. Just look it up
I'm gonna
sometime.
look it up right now.
No,
Why not?
we're on the show. Episode 20 does not need to be a special on.
That just sounds gross. Like,
Just-
why
just-
would anybody get off to that?
I didn't. I'm just saying I was down the rabbit hole, and I've watched ASMR videos on YouTube. We talked about it on the show before, like how some of those are really like The guy, remember I got tricked by the dude trying on shoes?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, well, I was like, well, let me see if this carries over.
Right.
And see if it does.
I don't know. I feel like if you must have explored pretty much every other corner of the internet. If you finally get to the point where like I can only get off if I like if I like hear it inside my brain.
No, that's terrible.
Right.
I haven't made it that's awful.
Right. I must hear like a giant pot of macaroni and cheese being stirred. Otherwise,
that would be terrible.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what that would be, was it not?
I could do a grill, like some grilled chicken or burgers. That'd be all right.
Or maybe it's like
if we're talking about whales, they're probably just like the ruffling of wool.
Yeah, right. That's probably what it is. The munching of grass, right? Right. That's probably what it is.
Or it's like that age-old joke: how does a Welshman find a sheep in long grass? Fucking irresistible.
Exactly.
I feel some tension in that area.
Maybe that's what it is. It's because it's ASMR because it's actually like out on a farm.
It's not that. I think that's a different category.
Well, I'm talking about for whales, so for the Welsh, that's the reason why their ASMR is their top search, is because of all the farmland they're doing outside to sheep.
Okay.
All right. So further on is the last couple are Glory Hole in the southwest region. It's a Glory Hole. Okay.
Okay.
And then southeast is Point of View, POV. And then the London area, which they single out here, is Turkish. So I'm assuming a large Turkish population.
All right.
I have a beer here.
Oh, nice.
I made some noise.
Jacko, let me ask, what time is it in your land?
What, right now? It's 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Holy shit.
I'm going to try this. I forgot the bottle opener. I'm just going to try to do it.
Do it, bro. This table was $35.
Yeah, exactly right.
Actually, those twist top.
Are they twist top?
Those twist.
Yeah, you ruined my time. I was going to bust it.
You still can, but I thought, what if you did that and like half of this fucking fell apart?
Right, yeah, so what you say was, it was
2
a.m. up there right now.
All right.
Right.
So it's kind of late.
A little bit, late.
So technically, he's Saturday. He's from the future.
Right.
I am from the future.
Holy shit.
Tell us what it's like.
Yeah. How is it so far?
Oh, well, quiet.
Oh, well, there you go.
Maybe everybody's dead.
Well, we know of someone who's dead.
Right.
You'll
have to wait till 2 a.m. to find out. Oh, well, we're getting back to the Queen.
Let's get back to the Queen. Yeah, now we went on a little porn adventure.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Which is my fault, which usually is.
Currently locked in a heaven death match with Princess Diana.
Oh, shit.
Exactly. Right. So I feel like, when was the last time I feel like whenever you guys have a monarch die, isn't like France or Spain supposed to invade now or some shit?
I wouldn't know.
Exactly that. Now
it's not happened for a very long time.
Exactly. Right. It's like Spanish Armada 2.0.
I mean, but I would imagine though, there's the whole country. I'm assuming mourns. It's pretty serious, is it not, Jacko?
It's what? Sorry.
I said, is it pretty serious over there? Like
what's the tone that you're getting from majority of your countrymen? Is it like 50-50 split where you have royalist and non, or is it kind of like everyone's just kind of like faking it, or what's the general?
The main feeling is everyone hopes her funeral will be a holiday from work.
Okay, because the reason I ask is because over here everyone acts like they had her as a roommate or a guest,
right?
At some point,
right.
So that's why I was wondering what the general atmosphere was like actually over there with it happening.
We have people in this country that are very extreme on royalists. You know, the outside Buckingham Palace right now crying. I don't understand it myself. But,
really?
Crying?
Yeah, there's people nuts for that kind of thing.
I mean, they are kind of in the
Absolutely
States here. Some people are like that in the States. I feel like they have like a Disney fucking version or idea in their head.
It's like the Princess Diaries. That's what they're visualizing.
Like, oh my God, I can be a queen.
Well, I mean, I get it because I know when Princess Diana passed, it was pretty serious, but I think she was well liked. I've never researched it, so I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I know
she didn't pass. She was murdered by the Queen.
Right. She's because Diana was hot, so of course we're upset when
Well, what do we always say? Attractive people make everything better.
Exactly, that's right. This is true. In every industry, in every facet. Right?
Everything.
If you put an attractive person there, it's instantly going to make everything
It's going to make it better.
Right. Yeah, I would say so. But the other thing that's like everyone's like treating it like, oh my God, did you hear? I was like, yeah, she was 96 years old. That's what 96-year-old people do is they die. I
don't know a lot about her, to be honest. I didn't research like everybody's been doing, but I mean, I saw old video clips of her when she was younger. She was a pretty lady. And she said some interesting things. But like I said, I've never delved into it.
My extent to my knowledge is from watching The Crown on Netflix.
Okay.
That's about it.
Okay.
I'm sure that's historically accurate.
Right, correct. I especially like the part where she arm wrestled Winston Churchill. But I'm just kidding. That
I was like, holy shit, is that really on there?
No, that didn't happen. Right, exactly.
It won by dying out his cigar on her face.
Right, exactly. She
She was getting tattooed.
Right. She was like, if I win, you have to invade France. Well, we invaded France, so she won.
No questions asked.
Right.
Over the top.
I was starting to think maybe we should just invade India as a callback to her reign.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly, because you guys lost India during her reign. I was right. That was on the Crown. I did watch that. But basically, like y'all lost a bunch of shit, a bunch of commonwealths during that time period.
I've never watched that.
50s and 60s.
I've never watched this show.
You should watch it. It's interesting. I like history stuff. So
Well, I do too. I watched World War II in color and like all that stuff that came on that was really interesting. So, but I've never watched The Crown. Maybe I need to do that.
British history is actually interesting, with this tiny island out in the middle of the ocean that conquered the world. It's actually quite an interesting read.
yeah, I mean, and in my thinking, it's part of American history too, because that's where all of our traditions generally started from.
Correct.
Right, it's the only thing we didn't like is tax on our goddamn tea. That was about it.
Yeah, we took care of that.
Exactly, but British common law and everything else was incorporated into the American system.
Yeah.
So we didn't do the
And you
parliamentary thing.
fuckers turned on us.
Exactly.
Well, I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, sorry about your luck.
You goddamn rebels. Yeah, it's kind of weird to think about. Like, we did start a rebellion. We don't think of it that way. We think of it as a revolution, right? But from their perspective, we're a bunch of dirty rebels.
Checo's pissed secretly.
Exactly.
You stole that country. You fucking stole that country.
Exactly right. It's like we spent all this time, we built all these ships, and we conquered this land for you fucks just to take it over.
Sorry.
Exactly. In your goddamn fur hats, right?
Y'all are allowed to come hang out.
You could at least give us the taxpayers' money back that paid for everything.
Right.
For you to get there, you know.
Exactly right.
He said, you know what you did.
And we had to go to the fucking French to win, too. Son of a bitch. Because if we didn't go to the French, we wouldn't have won.
That's true.
Because we didn't have any ships. We didn't have the naval power in order to fight off the British blockade, right? So the French had to come to do that.
This isn't a pity episode. It's not what we're having Jacko on. I want to make sure. We are collectively, because of the Queen's passing, we're mending old wounds. That's right. That's what it is. We're actually, I like that.
250 and 270-year-old wound.
Yeah.
So right. So that's interesting. But so yeah, I find British history interesting, or English history.
I'll have to watch that
just because it is our history too. Right?
Yeah, we're intertwined.
Right, big time.
Did you guys know that the Queen actually served in the armed forces?
Yeah, she did. She was an ambulance driver and then a mechanic.
Yeah, it's actually crazy to think about.
Yeah, I know. And I heard somebody tell a story was about whenever she had invited over, I guess on some sort of, I don't know, tour, or actually it wasn't a tour.
A diplomatic visit or something?
Some diplomatic visit where it was the Saudi prince or Saudi king or whatever came. And they, I guess, were going to travel around the countryside and wherever the fuck, her summer home or some bullshit. And so the Saudi prince got into the vehicle, and the Queen was driving.
Yeah, she loved to drive, apparently. That's what I heard, too.
And she was apparently driving like a bat out of hell with the Saudi prince or king or whatever it was that was visiting. And the irony of it is in Saudi Arabia, definitely during this time period, and still today, women can't drive.
He was like, fuck.
Right. And so apparently she wanted to make a point that, yeah, bitch, we can drive.
Watch this.
Hold
drifting. White knuckles.
Hold my tea.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly.
Hold this crumpet.
So it was so that is interesting. But I mean, that's before our time. The only thing I know of the Queen's just old lady with a weird hat over in England.
She always looked kind of like she was like mean or like a stuck up bitch.
Yeah.
In some of the pictures, but maybe she just had like
right.
royal resting bitch face.
Right.
That's fine.
She always looked to me like she had just drawn and quartered somebody in the back. You know what I mean?
She probably did.
Right. Put them on a pike. She just put somebody's head on a pike.
She's like, just like old times.
Right, exactly.
Puts a little more pride in her stride.
Right. Oh, the dark ages. Them's were the days. Oh, fuck. So I figured that was pretty much the feeling of, because I think that's probably the feeling over here as it is in the UK, is you get, it's probably a good even 50-50 split, or maybe it's like a 30-30-30, something like that around there, where it's like you have a third of the people that are like all in mourning, and you have a third of the people that are like, who gives a shit? And then they have a third of the people that like probably actually like disdain the royal family and everything.
Yeah, they're like,
you know?
finally.
Right. And then, yeah, like they have that middle ground where they're just like complacent, like, I don't care. I've got to go to work.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I think I probably fall in that category. I find English history interesting, but like you said, like, I'm not in mourning. I don't, when people say that, it's like,
I don't know her.
Yeah, right. It's like whenever...
And it's not my country.
Right. It's when someone tells you, like, oh, did you hear such and such? They got married last week. And you're like, oh, I'm so happy for them. Like, no, you're not. You're not happy for them. Like, your level of happiness did not increase.
Yeah, you were just like, she could be hotter.
I guess. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about the Queen thing. So. And also... She does.
There's nothing but a massive tax going on tax funds.
Yeah, see, and I get that. I'm trying to imagine what that would be like in the United States if you had like this entire family, a line of people, right?
And what
especially
is
in today's
and what is it they saying? What are you saying, Jacko? That she's
their
doing?
tax burden, like they don't have jobs, right? They don't. It's not like they
They're the royal
anything.
family, and they're not producing anything, and they actually aren't ruling like they used to. The monarchy doesn't rule.
Well, they actually argue that they're a massive tourist attraction.
Right. Yeah, so I guess that is a point. If they have Buckingham Palace and a bunch of dumb Americans want to go over there.
But does that offset the millions of pounds they spent on redoing Buckingham Palace?
Probably not.
That shit costs millions.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what kind of revenue you're bringing in on the tourism side of things, but I don't know. Well, I guess it's kind of like it would kind of be like Hollywood over here, right?
Yeah, probably
kind of thing. Like people go to see the Hollywood sign and the what is it? The fucking road with the stars on it.
Hollywood Boulevard. Yeah, that's right.
Is that Hollywood? No, it's not Hollywood.
That's not
Boulevard.
it. God, we live here. We don't know anything.
I don't live in California.
No, but I mean,
crazy ass place.
Oh, come on, guys! You're American. You must know the fucking name.
Hey, hold on a second.
It's on the tip of my brain.
Mine too.
It's the Walk of Fame, but what's the actual road?
I'm getting there.
Hollywood Boulevard. I feel like this. It goes in front of that French theater, or not?
It's the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Chinese theater.
It's a tourist attraction. Hollywood Boulevard.
Hollywood
Star-studded Hollywood sidewalk.
Yeah,
there we go.
I feel like that's kind of like our royalty, except it changes out, every year. As soon as you get too old to be in movies, then you get changed out. But,
right.
It's like the have you seen besides the Queen stuff? Have you seen these memes going around about Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, if you're older than 25, he's fucking done.
Which is apparently that's like science. Like if she's over 25, he's kicking him to the curb, which is crazy.
It's proven. He's done it
over and over and over again. Right.
I'm mad at
all
him.
the memes coming out are really hilarious about it. But and then we go from that to the Queen passing. But yeah, I don't give really two shits about the Royals. I mean, watching that show was interesting.
Well, that's why I asked Jacko, what's
in
the
reality,
current?
Don't care.
Yeah, what's the current ecosystem like living over there? So
like I said, the history of the royal family is interesting, but like current royals, they don't really play much of a part in British culture. I don't feel.
Yeah, I get that sense that it's not as they're not as I don't know, important as they were before. If that makes sense.
Well, no,
because the royals used to make the laws and stuff, but now it all goes to the government and
not
used to set wankers there.
Yeah, but not even from that sense. I feel like that's like no one. It's. I feel like more and more people are like, why do we even have this institution anymore?
Yeah,
besides,
I don't really see
besides
the need.
The tourism part.
Yeah, I don't see the need. I don't live there, so my opinion doesn't mean shit. But if I did live there, going by what I've read and what I've been told, like it's kind of like, what is the point in all this anymore?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't want to see the family on the street. I just meant like, sorry guys,
Get a
fuck
job.
out.
Get a real job. King Charles, you bum. So that is the he is the next in line, right? But he could abdicate his throne, right? That's how.
That's not going to happen. He's waited years for this opportunity.
That's what to say. Waiting for old mom.
What did somebody say? It looks like here's what it looks like when you haven't had a job in 71 years.
Right, King Charles.
Yeah. I believe Charles is around 73 years old, so we're probably going to have a new head of the monarch in 10 years?
Probably,
yeah, I guess so. You think him and Biden are best mates?
Who knows, dude? God, we got a shit show enough over here.
Everybody's old as fuck.
They
runs the country.
I like those memes going around where it shows when Meghan Markle walks up to the casket.
Oh, it's a fucking Undertaker.
Grabs and chokes the shit out of him.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of that, she fucking sucks.
Wait, who?
Actually, I think I messaged Jacko, and I think I told him, or I think it was in another.
You talking Meghan Markle sucks?
Meghan Markle, yeah. And I was like, now that the Queen's dead, because that whole reason why she left, she acted like she was fleeing persecution, and we had to take her in on asylum.
She didn't want to be a handmaid,
right? Exactly. Right, because the racism was just so bad that she comes to the States and then bitches about our racism. So it's just like, fuck you, bitch. So apparently the joke is now, I think I mentioned something about this. Now that the Queen's gone, which is her whole beef, I was like, can y'all fucking take her back now? Because she's probably one of the most annoying people.
Yeah, Jack, I'm gonna need y'all to get on that. You need to get that shit back over there.
My exact words: can you take Markle and the ginger back?
I mean, we'll take the ginger back, but you can keep fucking Markle.
We don't want Markle.
I mean, Harry used to be cool, you know. He were caught with cocaine. He were always partying, naked in Vegas. He were such a cool guy, and then he got married and turned into a cook.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I wouldn't mind if he said naked in Vegas. That's understandable.
Yeah, exactly. I can definitely see how you can get there.
I'm a huge advocate for Las Vegas.
Yeah, I know. Which, yeah, I had to. What did I tell you today? I was like,
your
enthusiasm for Vegas is so much higher than mine.
Yeah,
that we need to come to a happy medium.
Yeah, because I'm to a point now where I could probably be a travel agent for that city. And they're like, how many times have you been here? You've been doing this for years? Like, no, I literally went for 4 days, and it changed my perspective. Right. So it's not a good sale.
I know. Actually, Jacko, you was telling me that's like your number one U.S. destination spot. Yeah.
I really want to go to Vegas, but I feel like I may become a gambling addict.
Actually, you say that, but you wouldn't your first time. You might lose your ass, but I don't see someone becoming an addict the first time doing it because it's so overwhelming, being in it. Like your second time going, probably, because you pep yourself up in it. But I feel like your first visit, at least for me, we talked on that episode as far as leaving.
That's because you sucked at it.
Yeah, I suck at gambling. But
when you guys say Vegas to me, all I hear is hookers, cocaine, and blackjack.
We were offered cocaine.
Right. Exactly right. Yeah, except ours was alcohol, roulette, and strippers.
And Crown Royal.
Right, yeah, right.
210 for me, that boys.
Because we got some,
right, exactly. Yeah. We were one tier below.
And then
I might have to meet you out there and just fucking corrupt you both.
Oh, dude, we'd have so much fun. The plan is to go back. So,
yeah, we are planning to go back.
Planning to go back next year.
I still need to. I did talk to Brandon about. We talked about Vegas, but honestly, we were post doing that draft in the parking lot at Nissan Stadium, and I think Brandon had too much wine. So I'm not sure if he remembers exactly that.
We'll bring it up again,
or it was just kind of like a passing conversation. But he's never been. But the other two have been. So Scott, Drew, if you're listening, y'all want to go to Vegas next year?
Yeah, Jacko, meet us there.
Yeah, and we'll get Jacko to meet us from the UK, and whoever else wants to join. Any listeners, any fans who want to join? Fuck, let's do a whole meet and greet in Vegas.
Oh fuck! Well, what's bad?
However many fans we have.
The good thing is probably most of our fans are people we already know.
Well, then great. We'll have a good showing.
Come on. Yeah, we'll have to do that.
Can we crowdfund my ticket so I don't have to swim there?
Well, what we want?
Yeah, we could.
What we wanted to do was actually do an episode there.
Yeah,
and air one.
Yeah, so we could do that, and then I thought that would be cool. Just letting people know that although we may have some sort of may not want to let our location be known. Maybe we have a weird crazy.
Well, we have 11
or something.
We have 11 listeners from Vegas. each episode.
We'd probably have to pay the hookers a little extra to keep quiet while we do the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that's funny.
I wonder who those 11 people are. It could just be maybe it's people from Vegas area, just because the title of that episode did have Vegas in the title.
It could be.
It's grubbing his entire family.
It could. Yeah, it could
well,
be.
Not only that, but it increased after we left.
Yeah. Well, did it increase? Well, yeah, because we posted the episode, so the title had Vegas in it, and I was thinking maybe it's just because
they're consistent now because
thing.
It's stayed the same, which is nice.
So okay. So what my thinking is it just because we had Vegas in the title, and so when people are like looking at podcasts and ours pops up there, so we have 11 listeners that looked at that one, or is it because we talked about it in the club, so it's actually those 11 listeners are actually like strippers? That's what I'm getting at.
It could be Smiles. It could be security. It may not be the driver. Dancer. Right. It could be that driver was cool as fuck.
It could be. Yeah.
Shout out Tesla driver.
We love you.
Vegas is a dream location for sure.
Oh,
yeah,
you would enjoy it. You would dig it.
You would enjoy it.
It's really cool.
I feel like my expectation, like I knew ahead going into it, I knew that it was going to be kind of touristy, and especially like I've heard that it's turned into like more Disneyland than Sin City, right? It's moved away from the Sin City.
We were just
thing.
there, yeah.
Right. So I already knew ahead of time there was going to be a bunch of fucking families around and shit. It wasn't like, it's not like what you see in the movie Casino or anything like that, right? Where it's just like a big coked out party the whole time. No, it's not like that. But it's something else.
I do have questions for Jacko on that area. So most of the time over here, Jacko, everybody always wants to visit Europe or the UK or any over there in general. Is London? I'm sure you've been there. You've been to London, correct?
Yes, I've been to London.
Is it as touristy as I would think it would be? Like, is it as busy? Is there like a lot of Americans there that come through? Like, just curious because I've heard like it's always like a destination hotspot. I've heard that before.
Honestly, this isn't an official stat, but I would guess London is probably 60% immigrants, 20% tourists, and 20% people that actually are from London.
Locals.
Okay. That's what I was curious. I just, you always get people, that's where they want to go because there's been a lot of films there and then it's got some iconic pieces as far as attractions. So I was just curious if it's, I've never had an urge to go.
So what you're saying is London blows.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. You're likely to get stabbed.
Right. Fuck. They do have rampant stabbing there. Right? Okay, well, exactly. Actually, there was a story in the States about some mass stabbing, killed 15 people, like wounded another 10.
Yeah. And those are in the strict gun states. So now we have to ban knives.
Yeah, exactly. Them damn high capacity assault knives.
That's it.
Got to get rid of them.
Gosh,
fuckers.
They rapid fire.
Yeah, exactly. Right. The auto knives. Right.
Auto knives.
Just like stabbing motion. Right.
They're going to ban those. You have to do it one at a time or reload the blade.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, you have to sheath it every time you want to stab somebody.
That's right.
Right. That's the only way.
You get plus 10 stab power as you draw it out of the sheath.
That makes sense.
Right. Exactly.
You get a buff.
Everyone's going to be drawing it like a katana, like they're a damn samurai.
Yeah.
Right.
It's fucking shit.
Yeah, so that's what I figured. If I've always wanted to go to Europe, but London's never been one of those like that. I pretty much would be like, oh, cool, it's London. Oh, it's Big Ben. All right, hey there.
Well, usually
let's go.
Usually
something else.
Usually it's Paris.
Go to a pub or something.
Paris, but
I don't give a fuck about Paris.
My dad went and said it was a shithole.
Yeah, right.
There's a certain part where it's just gross, and that was 30 years ago, 40. I don't know if it's
so it's even worse.
The same. I don't know.
I've actually heard that from people that will tell you exactly like it is with traveling, is that it's a very dirty. It's actually a dirty city. It's kind of dirty and smelly.
Can you confirm that, Jacko? Have you been there?
I haven't been to Paris for a lot of years. I've worked there once,
okay.
So I didn't really go to see the sights. I was working in a hospital.
Okay.
What as far as what areas of the Europe have you been to?
Well, mainly Spain. I've been to Cyprus,
okay,
which is a Greek island.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Salou in Spain, and then I've done Lanzarote, Gran Canaria in the Canary Islands.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, France I've been to, obviously. I've been to Paris.
I feel like Spain would be nice.
Yeah, like which one was probably the nicest, Jack? I know we kind of got you on 21 questions here, but we're just curious. Like, which one do you think was probably the nicest area you would think from the places you've been?
Well, it's hard to say because obviously they were holidays, so it were touristy places.
Oh, okay.
So it's not really, you don't get to see the heart of a country like you'd want to.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's not like I've been to Madrid in Spain, which is the capital, where you'd see most of the, heritage and stuff. But
yeah, I would go to as far as Spain. I don't know what Madrid is like, but I always hear about was it Mallorca?
I'm not sure. I don't know a lot about.
Isn't that the party kind of more party?
Mallorca is a huge party place, like Ibiza as well.
Right, Ibiza is another one.
So is it like Abu Dhabi? The way it looks like, the way they portray it in films, where it looks like a beautiful like tech city full of. Or
kind of like Carnival in Brazil or some shit like that. It's a party place. Every time I hear about Ibiza or Mallorca, that's what I hear about.
You're talking clear blue waters, white beaches.
Oh, the Ibiza. There's even a song like "Party in Ibiza" or something. That's okay. That makes sense.
I would do that. That would be cool. Just from the aesthetic, just the attractiveness is probably walking around. If you catch my meaning.
Well, everyone always says like when they talk about traveling, they always want to go to Ireland as well. I guess just because how green it looks whenever you see photos and stuff, that whole area.
Yeah, I suppose that I guess that would be cool. The landscape and whatnot.
That's what I'm talking about, just landscape wise. I don't know if a tourist attraction.
I feel like I'm in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I'd like to ride dirt bikes there. I think that would be cool.
I feel like
or get tattooed there. That would be dope.
Yeah.
I would do that.
Yeah. I would want to do the Highlands just because of Outlander. Fucking love that show.
Oh, it's a great show. Or Highlander.
Yeah, so I would love to do that. And also, didn't they say...
That could be only one.
You right. Or that, yes.
Yeah.
And they also shot a lot of Game of Thrones there. I think they have actually a whole tour that will take you around to different Game of Thrones places they shot Game of Thrones as part of a tour.
Didn't they film a season of Sons of Anarchy over there as well?
Yeah, because they were, and there was that one season where they were involved with the IRA.
Well, they had their own chapter though of SOA over in Ireland.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
and they were actually attached to the. Was it the IRA? Those are the terrorists, right?
The Irish. Is that right, Jack? What
Irish
are they called?
Republic Army or something?
Is that right?
IRA, yes.
Okay, that's right.
We classify them as terrorists.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
we know.
They're really into bombs.
Yeah,
from what I understand, and potatoes. But
according to Jacko, there's a lot of potatoes.
Bombs or lack thereof.
Or right, exactly.
Starch lovers.
Right, and mad cows. Isn't that where mad cow disease or whatever come from?
After the bombs.
Right. It was from all the explosions there. These cows were cows were like
potato dust.
Fuck this, right?
Yeah.
And the lack of they didn't have enough starch in their diets.
Yep.
Because there was no potatoes.
Yep.
Right, so everybody wigged out.
Although admittedly there is a lot of hot girls in Ireland.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know any Irishmen.
We had one where we used to work, had a customer of ours that was from there, and it was super thick accent, but he was a really nice guy. But that's the only time I've ever really met, besides like on films or movies stuff, but that's really the only person I've ever actually talked to that was from there.
Right.
I've never actually met someone in person. Jacob did. Jacob worked with a guy that was from there.
Okay.
That he said it was wild, some of the stuff he would say, like just the mannerisms and slang and stuff. He was just like, I don't know what the fuck he's saying, but it's awesome.
Right. Well, it's going over there would be. I feel like if you were to travel to Europe or culturally abroad, I feel like culturally that'd be the one that you could easily adapt to because that these are our ancestors, right? We're all of Irish descent or Scottish descent, English descent. Like my background, I think is, it's a mutt of shit. I know it's English. I guess some Dutch in there.
Right. Asian?
German. No Asian.
Okay.
No Asian. Dutch, German. I know English. I think there's like a drop or two of Cherokee.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm attached. I'm attached to this land. Right.
Right. You're sold in
William
the earth.
Knife Hand. Woo!
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Whatever. So I would be. So I'm a mutt.
Okay.
Sort
I think everyone is a mutt.
Pretty much over here. Yeah. There's not a whole lot of purebred, Americans, I guess you could say.
So, Jacko, also, I've asked you this before, like when we're gaming and stuff, but is Harry Potter as big there as it is here?
Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Guns.
First time I ever met Jacko, when we talked, that's all I could think about. I was like, dude, he sounds like a professor. He sounds like a professor.
Right. Professor McGonagall.
Well, not like the chick, but just in general.
That's what I thought.
Is that what you thought? You said just like Professor McGonagall. Okay.
I'm professor of the dark arts.
Okay.
I'm the dude that always fucking dies.
Oh, well, that's an important role. Somebody's got to play it.
They always have to replace that position. Right?
Yeah. So anyway, so is it as big there, or is that more of a U.S. has really just?
I think that's something you guys took and ran with.
Yeah.
It's not something I hear often in daily life, if I'm honest.
I figured it's our obsession with the Royals. We have basically what I'm saying is like
it was Americans, a cash cow,
Americans are obsessed with you people.
It's just so different.
That's all it is.
Like we love like Idris Elba and Daniel Craig. Like we pull half of all the shows we like are all British and English actors.
Right. Well, yeah, like all the like cultural like phenomenon of shows are all pretty much. Like Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings
and Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey was a big thing, right? I just mentioned like drop Outlander and you know what I'm saying? So I don't know why we're obsessed with English culture. Fuck you guys.
It's weird because Americans are obsessed with English culture and England is obsessed with American politics.
Right.
Oh, well, yeah, because it's a shit show, so it's just pure entertainment.
Yeah, no, but we sort of adopt the same things you do. I mean,
that's true.
During the pandemic with the whole George Floyd thing, people are rioting in London over that, and it's like,
right,
we don't have a police brutality problem in England.
Django's like, what the fuck are we doing?
It doesn't make any sense. They're pulling these statues down and carrying on and attacking police officers. It's like, so you tell me one guy dies in the USA and the entire UK is going to riot because of it. None of it made any sense at all.
Right, exactly. Talking about defunding the police, but like, meanwhile, y'all's police departments are like, the fuck did we do?
Exactly. Like, we haven't beat anybody up in weeks.
Right, exactly. We don't even carry guns. We got these nightsticks. Right?
We have to go check guns out. They're locked up.
Right.
The last time I strangled a black person was when I had sex.
Right, exactly. Right.
The only thing I'm glad we have not indoctrinated or like taken from that is beans and toast.
Hey, don't knock on. I'm into the beans on toast.
No
now.
bullshit.
Okay. So
I knew it come up.
Yes,
beans on toast.
Beans on toast. When I heard beans on toast, I'm like, the beans on. You mean like beans?
Like bushes, like Bush's baked beans,
but they're not barbecue sauce beans. They're a tomato. It's a tomato base. It's tomato sauce beans.
Nope.
Right. So I, got into for a while was going to like the international aisle, and I was like, let me culture myself.
Yeah, I've had I make stir fry,
and what better way to culture yourself than by eating it, right? Food.
Sure,
it's the easiest way to do it, right? Sure. To get into the culture. And so Jacko was telling me about beans on toast. I was making fun of him, and so he's like, don't knock it till you try it. And I'm like, all right, fine. So I go and I get there's actually in the international section at the grocery store. There wasn't like toast there. I had to go get bread.
Obviously, right? I know that toast is not in the section. Like it's not international bread.
Right, it's pre-made toast. Pre-made English toast.
Pre-made toast.
Right, exactly. But they did have the right kind of beans, right? And I think I even sent a picture to you, Jacko, and I was like, "Is this right?" And you were like, "Yeah, that's right."
Yeah, but okay. So what kind of beans is it?
It were Heinz beans. It wasn't like some crazy.
Heinz beans.
It was just.
Are
Heinz
they seasoned
beans.
Though, or is it just beans?
It's
just cooked raw beans.
It's baked beans. Imagine baked beans, barbecue baked beans, but it's not a barbecue base. It's tomato base.
So it tastes like shit. I'm not eating that.
It's good.
Sorry, nope.
If I eat beans on toast and I'm making my beans, I always stick a knob of butter in there just to thicken them up.
Why can't you just have? I just don't understand where that came from.
For the American audience, how much is a knob?
It's what. Well, for you Americans, probably about 2 inches.
So a nub.
A nub, right.
It's a nub of butter. Okay,
an average penis size of butter is what you're saying.
Out of the swimming pool length. Okay,
but no, you put in what you put in just
to your desired taste.
Which I did. I read the proper way to do beans on toast was you do put in a knob of butter. So I put in a knob, what I thought a knob was.
Well, I have a friend about this from X too. Shout out X. He mentioned that because he said we were talking one day and he was like, it's actually a good thing we're on here so late because I'm gonna go get breakfast at my favorite little place and get beans on toast. And I was like, whoa. Like I've had baked beans that like accidentally touched my hamburger bun and I still ate it. So
Basically the same thing.
I could
but if the
accept
hamburger bun was toasted.
Yeah, it was tomato-based beans. That's gross. I'm not eating that shit.
You should try it.
I'm not trying it.
Before you knock it.
Nope. Don't deny it till you try. Sorry, it's not happening.
I'll try anything once except for dick. Right? That's what
You can try ice cream. Can't try dick.
You can try ice cream flavors. You can't try dick.
Can't try dick.
All right, because there's no going back. But I did beans on toast, and I can see it. It's definitely a breakfast food.
I'm not denying
it makes sense.
I'm not denying its role as where it sits in the breakfast category.
You're just not into it.
It's not coming to my house.
Right.
It's not allowed.
Okay. Well,
We'll do sausage on toast. We'll do butter on toast. We'll do jellies and jams. Okay. But we're not doing tomato-based fucking beans on my. I can't handle it.
I'm gonna force feed some beans on toast.
You can try,
and just to either A, rub it in your face that you were wrong and it's actually delightful, or B, watch you vomit.
All right, I'll tell you what. Okay, here's the dealio. All right, I will try it.
We'll do it on the show.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
We'll try beans on toast.
You've got to do it as a video for a shorts on YouTube.
We'll put it on Instagram.
We'll do it before next week. We'll do it.
Yeah.
All right, that'll work.
I'll get the accoutrements.
All right,
and I'll make,
no. I'll bring the toast.
Okay, you get the toast
bread.
that you want.
That way,
I'll supply the beans.
That way, before I puke, I'll be able to just shove bread in my hole, and I can just cover up the taste because I think it's gonna be fucking terrible.
We can do this, make this a thing. Like let's not stop at beans on toast. Let's go further. Beans
on toast is fine.
Let's have some but was it what is that?
Tea and crumpets.
Yorkshire puddings.
Yorkshire pudding?
What is that?
Yorkshire pudding it's almost identical to pancake mix, but it raises into like a bowl that you eat with like an onion gravy and meat and stuff.
Ooh,
like a roast dinner.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Hey, no wonder y'all are so mad. Y'all eat weird shit. I know what's happening.
Pudding. This thing looks like a little
Yorkshire puddings are the shit.
Yorkshire pudding. This looks like a fucking.
Jacko, do y'all eat?
This looks like a dinner roll that somebody like stuck their dick in and jizzed in.
Do y'all eat oatmeal and grits as well? I mean, I'm not acting like y'all are on another planet. I'm just wondering.
Seriously, what the fuck is that?
Personally, I don't.
Actually, that looks pretty good.
It looks weird.
That don't look bad. That looks pretty good.
All right, we're gonna have to try this. I'm gonna dust off my culinary arts and give this a go.
Yorkshire pudding. That actually looks pretty good in the pictures, Jacko.
We'll have a
Yorkshire puddings are great.
Okay. Fair enough.
This is where those were like little muffin ones. Here's where they make like a whole like thing. All right, we could give that a go. I'll look up. I'll get some more ideas off of you, Jacko, and we'll be like, we'll be a good like meal to make.
Before you attempt to make a Yorkshire pudding, please contact me on how to make.
We'll do that.
All right.
We'll do that on the show. That'd be kind of fun, I think.
I think it'd be cool. All right, I'll do it. I'll try beans on toast. We'll do an Instagram short, and if we'll know.
Right, and we'll rate.
I just think it's a weird collaboration, and it's just fucking weird.
It makes sense. I mean, it's like biscuits and gravy type thing.
Let me
what I'm saying?
Let me do it.
You've got the savory, tangy, and then you got the toast, right? It's just like biscuits and gravy.
In that same world, Jacko, is there a food that you haven't tried that we eat all the time that you'd want to try?
No, a lot of the American foods end up in the UK anyway. I mean, I believe there's even Taco Bell's opening everywhere now.
Yeah.
Y'all's are probably better than ours.
Right. Taco Bell is taking over. You ever see a movie Demolition Man? Where Taco Bell, they had the fast food wars and Taco Bell was the only one that won and it was like a fancy restaurant.
It was the only one that survived.
Right.
The first one where I live is about to open. I may have to try it and let you guys know how it goes.
Well, make sure you're near a bathroom.
Well, but y'all's food regulations are different than ours.
Yes, 100%.
It's a lot more strict than ours is.
All these trans fats and
theirs is regulated a lot higher than ours is. There's certain foods that are banned over there that you can eat here.
Well, in some ways not. I mean, sometimes our FDA will ban shit that's not in other states because our generation is eating fucking Tide Pods, that kind of thing. Like I think the one that comes to mind is the Kinder Egg. Like they had to discontinue the Kinder Egg with the toy inside because kids were like swallowing the fucking toy whole, but it's not banned.
Not just that, but Mexican drug cartels were using the little egg inside to transport drugs.
Oh, damn.
Right. Jesus Christ.
I forgot Jacko was on the inside.
Fuck.
Why is everything going to go back to the cartel?
Yeah, I know. What about? I'm thinking of some more obscure because I think when people think American foods, they think hamburgers, hot dogs,
French toast.
French. The bastardization of other cultures'
I just sent you a
foods.
picture, Josh, of a Yorkshire pudding I made with a stew.
All right, let me look.
Other stuff like
this is something from like The Hobbit. Let me look.
Like we turn Chinese food, Mexican food, and everything else into our own thing, right? So I think that's what people think of when they think of American foods. But I'm thinking like,
oh, that looks really good.
There's some other stuff.
Is that beef in there, Jacko?
Yeah, that is beef. Yes, potatoes, carrots, onions, gravy.
It's like a meat pie.
I would eat that,
right? Essentially,
I like that big ass plastic plate you got it on.
Okay,
that plate's not plastic.
So it's like a pot pie but open face.
It looks good, dude. That looks all seasoned. That looks really good. The dark hat. Yeah.
What can I say? I'm a dab hand in the kitchen, boys.
I have heard.
I wish this was scratch and sniff.
I have heard. This is probably a stereotype, but I have heard that comedians make jokes about British food that it fucking sucks as far as compared to other.
Well, it's probably a
countries.
seasoning thing.
Well,
too,
it was Andrew Schultz, and his joke was that it's that the more freedom that the women have, the worse the food is. He's like,
I've never heard that.
He's like, you gotta have a little oppression, otherwise that seasons the food.
Okay, fuck, that's good.
Like if they can't leave the kitchen, then all they have time to do is make awesome meals. Right?
Okay, that's your problem, Jacko.
It was a pretty funny bit. Sorry, it's like it's too much freedom over here. That's the reason all the food tastes.
That
like
means
shit.
if the men are doing all the cooking, that means the men are all suppressed there. That's what's happening.
Right. So
not anymore though. The queen's gone.
I thought that was pretty funny. I mean, if, like the shittier the country, the better the food is, right?
Right. Okay. No, that looks good. I like that. That looks actually delightful.
All right, we'll have to try that. We'll do the beans on toast. I was thinking like specific American foods that some obscure ones. Like, do you have any that? I've got a couple that are obscure, and it's not really like it's combinations of things that I think we came up with that nobody else came up with. Like, here, I'll give you an example.
Like shit on shingles?
And a lot of it came from the Depression era. At least how it is in the South. I don't know what some northern foods.
They don't eat nothing good. Nothing good from up there.
Yeah, no, they don't season.
They don't use salt and pepper.
Right. I fucking salt and pepper everything. Right. Even my beans on toast. But here's one. See if you've ever had this before.
Okay.
This is something that was passed down from my grandmother. Right. She lived through the Depression. It's cornbread and milk.
I've heard of it. I've never had it, but I've heard of that being a meal.
You take cornbread and you put it in a bowl. Usually I put it in a glass of milk, or take cornbread, you stuff it in there, pour milk, and then you pour some salt in there, and you just fork it out.
Yes. So I've had this, but I've heard of that being a poor people delicacy.
That's a poverty meal, is what that is.
Okay.
Right.
So this is where actually beans on toast derives from council estates in Britain.
Right.
Oh, okay.
It's a very cheap and easy meal to make. It's for people that are on the breadline, short on funds.
Right. So that was ours. Right. Is like milk was apparently plentiful because you just get it from a cow, and then cornbread.
Have you had shit on shingles?
What was shit on shingles?
Shit on shingles is gravy on toast.
Okay, yeah.
But it's called shit on shingles.
Instead of what
my dad had told me when we were kids. Yeah, it's just we do sausage gravy on toast, and that's what it is. It's shit on shingles.
Okay, yeah.
You're out here eating gravy on toast, but you won't try beans on toast.
Right.
That's weird.
Yeah, because it's sausage gravy. It's not tomato-based beans. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it.
You're going to be pleasantly surprised.
You're going to be pleasantly wrong. So,
no.
But I'm going to try it. I am going to try it.
I can't wait for this.
Here's another one that my mom used to always do is that I don't know what the fuck Steve is doing, but is she would eat is kind of a I don't know, he's freaking out. He's gonna fight you.
I know, it's fine.
Is she would take frozen blueberries and put them in a bowl of sweetened condensed milk.
Okay.
And then she would eat them that way. That was something she would always do, and I felt like that was a very Southern thing. Or maybe we did live in Maine for a bit, so maybe that was a Maine thing because blueberries are big up there. But shit on shingles is the only thing you got? I can't think of anything else that's like specifically American besides hot dogs, hamburgers.
Trying to think.
Not even. I mean, there's a lot of quote Mexican and Italian and Asian.
We kind of
foods
Americanize everything
that are
that
actually
comes. Like
made in America,
yeah.
but they're actually labeled as an ethnic food, not an American food, right? If I'm thinking like an American menu,
derived from America.
Fried chicken.
Wait, what'd you say, Jacko?
Wasn't pizza actually derived from America?
Right,
not
like
from Italy, as it's claimed.
Exactly, like pizza, but it was like Italian immigrants that did it. So it's an Italian dish, right? But
and really, that may have been a poor meal as well. I mean, it's just
don't give those dirty fucks the credit.
But his name was Mario.
That's
His name was Mario Luigi.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. I think like fried rice. I think like shrimp fried rice or some shit like that was actually like over here and something else. But yeah, we kind of like would take it and then make it our own. But it's still classified as those types of foods. I'm thinking like if you were to go to a place and it was like, where's the American menu, right? What would those foods be? And I feel like besides hamburgers and hot dogs, that's steak. What I think everybody thinks of.
Steak would be on there for sure.
Well, yeah, but that's everybody. That's just.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, but still, like if I went somewhere, that would be on there.
Yeah, but like your country stole steak from the UK,
right? Exactly.
There's a lot of tension.
Let me turn this off. What burned my
that thing's cool, dude.
Yeah, it was. What else? There was something I was just thinking about that might be a more
what were you thinking?
Specific American food. I don't know.
Okay.
Besides those Depression era meals. Huh. Well, anyway, we can talk about something else.
I was just waiting. I'm like, fuck, man, land your plane, but it never.
With bated breath.
Never showed up.
You were holding your suspense.
That's crazy. It's still crazy to me that how much farther like that time gap is where he is.
Oh, 6 hours?
Yeah, it's just wild to me.
Yeah, no, it's only like how long would the plane ride be there to the UK?
Oh Lord, I'll have to look it up.
Fucking, I don't know, it can't be that much. What, 10 hours maybe?
Well,
probably 5-6 hours.
Well, yeah.
What city are you in?
You
Jacko?
probably arrive at the time you set off.
He's in what?
Probably, yeah, exactly.
Where's he at?
In Yorkshire is probably
Yorkshire.
Somewhere. It's probably an airport in Yorkshire, right?
Leeds Bradford Airport.
Oh, okay. There you go. Boom. We'll see how it.
Let me look it up.
What's going to cost to get you here? That's what is some what is probably, I guess we're getting some back and forth on the differences between the UK and the US while you're looking that up. But what is probably your favorite thing? That's kind of weird to say. What would be your favorite thing about living in the UK? No, that's really, you have lived other places, so I'm assuming you have a comparison to go off.
Honestly, probably the banter.
Yeah, you guys are really good at that.
Like, you can say anything to anyone. I mean, even in our gaming sessions, you make fun of the fact that my mother's dead, and I can just laugh along.
That's true. Right. That is a really good running joke.
People aren't easily offended, which really helps me because I'm a bit of a cunt.
Right. Yeah, I do appreciate that. I think that you guys are over there. I mean, maybe not, some of the more liberal aspects of the country, but overall, anybody that I've ever met from the UK have always got thick fucking skin, and they could throw it back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
100%. It's part of everyday life. I mean, I grew up working on building sites. A work section related to you guys. I'm a telecom engineer by trade. I work pulling cables and stuff, and always on building sites having a laugh with people. And there's no fucking mercy there. There's no mercy there. People will say whatever.
Well, here, because I worked blue collar for a couple of years, or considered blue collar, and it's the same way. That ecosystem for that kind of work is, you have to be thick skinned in that environment.
Yeah.
If there's a pecking order, there's seniority. Like you got to earn your keep, and then if you're on the bottom, you're treated like the bottom.
I would think the difference is probably in the UK. Like it's the same kind of blue collar banter that like we have here, except we lock it up because we got to be at church on Sunday morning.
That's correct.
That's probably the major difference.
Probably so.
Is that we tuck it away in certain scenarios.
Yeah.
Because we got to be polite and Southern gentlemen and all that bullshit. Right.
So it can go too far, though, guys. It can go too far. I mean, I was once on site, and these guys were having banter, and one of them got quite offended. And it was an electrician and a plasterer, and the plasterer stole the electrician's hard hat, pissed in it, and put it back next to him. And the guy put it on his head and got covered in piss. And those two dudes started knocking teeth out of each other's heads. That was one of the most ratchet, wildest fucking things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, hey Jacko, have you been to the moors in England, up by northeastern Yorkshire?
Ilkley Moors, yes, I have.
Okay, that's in one of my favorite movies. They talk about the moors.
What is that?
Actually, over there. That's from American Werewolf in London.
I've never dug up a kid though.
No,
I don't get that reference.
I'm not sure.
You dug up a kid? What the fuck?
There was a couple of serial killers in the UK that used to murder children and bury them in the moors.
Yeah, so the moors has a history of trouble. Like there's the murders in the moor, but the movie I was talking about yesterday, I told you to watch, was American Werewolf in London. The first werewolf they run into that actually he gets bit by is in the moors. They tell you beware the moors, beware the moon, and then stay off the road. And in the moors is where that thing was lurking and attacked him. That's why I was curious.
You guys just gave me a call back to my youth. I watched that film when I was about 7, 8 years old.
Fuck!
Get the living fucking Christ out of me.
That is not a young man's movie. That shit's still crazy.
No.
It's funny now.
I've never seen it.
It was around the same time I watched It and I refused to get in the bath for about a week.
That makes sense. That's true.
Georgie.
But no, American Werewolf in London is awesome. You need to watch it. It's short.
Yeah.
But it's considered a comedy / horror.
That's interesting.
Because really, if you watch it, the movie only spans, and that time of the film is 2 days, 2 or 3 days. That's all. The whole film is spanned. That's how quick it all happens. Really? But it's got one of the coolest, best as far as real effects go. Werewolf. It's one of the best. And Jacko can vouch for that. It's wild. Because when that thing gets buck and starts attacking, it's like ferocious. It's crazy.
It was a terrifying time in my childhood. I don't think I'll sleep tonight. And it
don't walk on 2 feet. It's just like a wolf on steroids.
I don't know why this made me think this because we were talking about like old movies with either werewolves, vampires, all that kind of shit. But I just was reminded of another movie that I saw was fucking stupid. Was Vampire in Brooklyn, where Eddie Murphy was the.
That's actually on HBO Max. Yeah. I almost watched it. I've never seen it. Jacko like that.
It's fucking dumb. So what you guys? I don't know why because I was just picturing scenes from that movie while you guys were talking.
Is it good?
No, it's not good.
Okay,
it's fucking terrible. It's Eddie Murphy as a vampire. I mean, in Brooklyn, like it's what you imagine.
Okay.
Yeah. Not exactly his niche, is it?
Right, exactly. Right. And it was in '95, so it was like peak Eddie Murphy at the time, right? Like probably just off his stand-up tour.
Yeah, you need to watch American Werewolf in London. It's a good one.
I'll check it out.
It's a good one.
Speaking of shows and movies or whatever,
yeah.
A hot topic, and we've been talking about in the office a lot, is Lord of the Rings series and House of Dragon, right? And so, Jack, you probably have you seen any of these? Have you seen the Lord of the Rings series or the House of Dragons?
I haven't got around to watching the Lord of the Rings yet. I've been a little bit busy with the House of the Dragon.
Okay, so you're caught up though, right?
Then you've made the correct choice because
I haven't watched the latest episode that dropped House of the Dragon, by the way. So please,
all right, we won't spoil it.
We won't spoil it. It's good, by the way.
We'll just give a general sense of our opinion here. We're not going to give any details, but so. Basically, anybody that doesn't know is Amazon is producing the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. And it's like somewhere in the neighborhood of like $750 million to $1 billion they spent on this show.
That's correct.
I don't know how many episodes. That's probably like a 10-episode run.
I want to say it's
8.
I believe it's 10.
10, okay.
Because typically if they release 2 early like they did, it's going to run a little longer than 8.
Yeah, right.
I've been told it's very woke bullshit.
Well, what the lead up to? I'm a big, probably the best 3-movie trilogy, which that's not redundant. the best trilogy ever. 3-movie trilogy was like there's a 4-movie trilogy.
Well, there's 7,
right? So probably the best trilogy ever made put to film is the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
That's a fact.
Right? There's other movies that are by themselves that might be better, maybe, but as far as a trilogy goes, it beats Star Wars. It's the best trilogy ever made. In my opinion.
You mean the prequel trilogy of Star Wars didn't do it for you?
I would say I would rather watch the prequels than the sequels. The sequels are fucking hot garbage. That's when it comes to Star Wars. Fuck them things. So they just don't stand up. Like I would much if you gave me the choice between watching episode 8 and episode 2, I would watch episode 2.
Oh, absolutely.
100%. So, but anyway, Lord of the Rings is the best, and Peter Jackson, of course, then followed that up later with another trilogy of The Hobbit, which wasn't as good, but it still felt very
cohesive.
Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
It was in that it had the same kind of thematic elements and the casting and the costumes and the score. It was great, right? It was a little bit more on the kid side, especially the first one. But then it started to mature late, as when you finally get to the Five Armies, it was a lot more mature and it was a lot better. So I feel like Five Armies was a lot more like, say, Fellowship, right, as far as tone and tenor goes.
Probably.
Right? So anyway, Peter Jackson did a fucking phenomenal job. And the fact that there's an extended cut and people actually want to sit there and watch it for 4.5 hours.
I've seen them twice over the last 6 months.
Right. It's awesome, right? So making this show, everyone was going to compare it to that because that is what most people have not read Tolkien.
Now,
right?
Jack, have you seen the Lord of the Rings movies?
Sorry?
Yeah, you've seen Lord of the Rings.
You've seen Lord of the Rings, right?
I've seen the Lord of the Rings and I've read the books.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Got it. I figured, but I just wanted to check.
Yeah, it's a lot like, say comic book movies is more people have watched the movies than they have read the comics. So there's a lot more people have seen Lord of the Rings and watched The Hobbit than they have read Tolkien.
Maybe.
All. But I would say, yeah, maybe not.
Because they're older books.
They're a lot older books.
They are really old books.
Yeah, they're really old books. So
you may have
as far as
you've got a larger...
Collectively, over the years, probably more people have read the books. So that makes my point I'm about to make even worse.
Right.
Is that there is millions upon millions, tens of millions of people, hundreds of millions of people that have consumed this content, either by movies or the books. And so that is what they're basing it off of. So for them to make a show, they didn't have the rights to previous eras other than the Hobbit, Lord of the Rings era. They didn't have the rights to Silmarillion or any of those
basically
other
the
works.
backbone.
The backstory stuff.
The Bible, if you will, of
whenever
this
they were coming
cultural...
out talking about this show coming out, I was like, oh, dope. And they had mentioned, was it Morgoth and
Sauron Morgoth, big names.
And so we were like, oh, it's going to be Silmarillion, right? That's what we thought.
Right.
Apparently, no, it's not. It's not going to be... It's not going to be any of those stories. No. It's their own thing. It's Tolkien inspired. I'm doing quotes, air quotes for that. So immediately I'm like, okay, so it's like a reimagining that someone's just pulled out of their ass that just has Lord of the Rings name stamped on it.
It's yeah.
And that's essentially what it is.
I'm not going to give a whole lot away because Jacko may want to.
I'm just giving.
Check it out.
I'm not going to talk about any of the plot.
Oh,
or whatever.
I know.
But it does have characters that I think that the way that the rights to the show works is if it was mentioned in Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, then it's already an established character that they can now use, right? That's the reason like Galadriel's in it, Elrond's in it, Sauron's in it, right? And all these people, because they were also in Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, that you can now incorporate them into these stories. But anything that was in the Silmarillion that was not mentioned in Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit can't be done, as from my understanding, because they don't own the rights to that, to make a movie about it. So they spent a god-awful amount of money, and then they just went bottom of the barrel on cast. Actually, it wasn't even a good cast.
Not to cut you off. I'm not trying to. I'm giving information on this. So, and what did Amazon buy? We have the rights solely to the Fellowship,
right?
The Two Towers, Return of the King, the appendices.
Yeah, the appendices for those books.
And The Hobbit. That's it.
Right.
We do not have the rights to the Silmarillion, Unfinished Tales, the History of Middle-earth, or any of those other books that take a huge chunk of lore off the table that has left Tolkien from wondering how this duo plans to tell the Second Age story.
Correct.
So that's all they have, which, truthfully, you can't do a prequel series, The First Age, without fucking having the stuff to do it.
That's what I'm saying. They couldn't even go that route. They couldn't tell those stories because they didn't have the rights to those stories.
This is, the way I treated it now is it is a fantasy of high production value. It is. Of a spin-off, separate universe of Lord of the Rings. That's the way I'm viewing it now.
Right.
It does not, there's nothing about it makes me feel like I'm watching the original Lord of the Rings films.
So my broader point is that everyone is going to be comparing it to these things that they already know.
Right.
So just like me, whenever I heard this show was coming out, I was expecting it to be about the Silmarillion. And then it turns out it's not.
Yeah, you got
and
really
so
upset.
Immediately I'm like, red flag. Right? And you were a lot more optimistic about it. And since I had gotten that red flag sense, I've started diving into it, and I needed to like hear some opinions of people. And I was watching videos about like kind of the inside workings of Hollywood about this, and listening to cast interviews and creator interviews. And the sense that I got is that they wanted to tell their own stories, not Tolkien stories, and they wanted to infuse it with kind of they wanted to mirror it like today's problems. And stamp Lord of the Rings on top over the top of it.
To make it a moneymaker.
And to make a bunch of money.
Attract more of a crowd. I get it.
They didn't want to take Tolkien's work and like put it to screen.
It's not for fans.
Right.
It's for this new, that shit Jacko was talking about, that big coverage of Gen Z. It's what it is, dude. It's the way I look at it.
It's like tofu meat. It's not real.
And I mentioned this today to guys we work with. I was like, when I watch a movie or I watch a series on television, whether it be fantasy, sci-fi, whatever, I don't want sprinkles of real life social bullshit sprinkled in my shows because I'm watching these to escape reality.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying some things really happening, whatever, but I don't need that sprinkled in my shows.
Right.
Because if you're gonna sprinkle it in there, at least try to do a good job of sprinkling it. Don't force feed it to me to where it's
do it subtly.
Thank you. Subtly. Right, exactly.
Or it needs to touch on like human themes that transcend our time period.
Sure.
That are universal themes, right?
That sounds better.
That kind of thing. Not something that is a current, semi-political strife that's going on in the country. Like, I don't want to see a scene where like the dwarves are complaining about elf brutality or some bullshit. What I'm saying? Like, who wants to see that shit?
I've not even watched this, and I know there's a lesbian elf in there somewhere struggling with her sexuality.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's exactly going to be like that.
So, in Jacko, you've seen House of Dragon, which came out around the same time, before, a couple weeks before. But what's happening now on our side of the news is that these jackass leftist film people, whoever they are coming out. This news is that if you don't like the show, it's been catching a lot of racial slurs and like racial tension towards it. The same thing happened to Obi-Wan. These toxic fans are coming out and bashing House of Dragon. They're bashing, and I don't know what, I'll get to that, and bashing Rings of Power. Well, it's not if you can't compare those two.
Right. And so
what I took, and I messaged you guys this last night because I was so infuriated. I'm like, you are comparing apples to oranges. House of Dragon has African American, all kinds of cultural background actors and actresses. The show is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, so that's what the lead up to. Yeah, it's Lord of the Rings is the reason people are upset is because of what I just said. Is because the people know the Silmarillion.
It's fucking terrible.
They know Peter Jackson's movies.
Yes.
And because they were true to the books. I mean, they couldn't cram everything into
Oh no, there's a lot.
But as far as they're beloved, it's a beloved franchise, and everybody knows what it looks like. It's like when you eat a burger, you know what that tastes like. Whenever someone tries to give you a fucking veggie burger, you're like, the fuck is wrong with this burger? Right?
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Right? Because you're trying to change the essence of what it is. And then whenever we point that out and we're like, why did you cast this guy? It makes no fucking sense. And they're like, well, just so happens to be it's a black actor or it's a woman here or whatever. Then they just pick on that. I'm like, I didn't even fucking mention his race. I'm just saying he doesn't look. It doesn't
fit.
Weird.
It's a
shitty casting.
Yeah.
The actor himself is shitty, is what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And it's just because he's black has nothing to do with it or whatever. Because I don't like the Elrond casting. The Celebrimbor casting is fucking shitty.
He looks like he sells insurance.
He looks like he sells insurance. He looks fucking terrible.
Well, I don't. Because anytime, here's what you get to look forward to, Jacko, when you watch it. So I don't have a problem with the racial thing at all.
No.
Because this is a huge world that was created. So will there be black elves? Yeah, sure.
Probably.
I'm sure there is. Is there female dwarves? Yes. That's how they got there. Yes.
Well, they tried to claim that this show was the first time, early on, they tried to claim, a lot of the cast was claiming, like, this is the first time you've had a female dwarf on screen. And someone was like, no, they go back to The Hobbit, and there was
you
female
see them
dwarves.
running for their life whenever
Correct.
Smaug lands in the mountain. They're running out.
Exactly.
How the fuck do you think they got there?
Dwarves are all men and they're conceived through the arsehole.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, that's bullshit. We just never had there's never been a lead because typically
they just weren't part of the story. There wasn't the story.
There wasn't the secret of the, what do you call it, of the traveling group. There wasn't females in the group.
That's what I'm saying.
Sorry.
Exactly. In Tolkien's work, there just wasn't a major dwarf female role.
Back to the Rings of Power. I don't even care if there is a female lead. None of that bothers me. What bothers me is piss poor writing, shitty acting, and shitty casting.
Bad casting decisions.
And I'm not saying these are bad actors or actresses, but if you don't fit the role, then you don't fit the role. You can't force the role.
Yeah, correct.
And what sucks about the whole thing too,
it's like trying to cast Danny DeVito as the Terminator. Like,
it just doesn't
make
work.
Any fucking
it doesn't
sense.
work. So you have the guy you mentioned, the Black Elf. He's not a bad looking dude. He just doesn't fit an elven look that we're used to seeing, and that's fine. But like everyone has different haircuts.
Like he's the first elf that I've seen with a medium fade.
He's got a crew. Yeah, he's got a fade, which
I'm like,
is fine.
It's weird. I'm saying
if everyone else had that,
right?
But you got one guy looks like a Paul Mitchell model with his hair, and this dude. I'm like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. And then the dialogue is terrible. And the intensity they try to sell at certain points in the show don't work because the music don't fucking match. Like even a moment
the score
like,
is not as grandiose as is in the
it's just bad.
And when you mentioned that today, I was started to watch the latest episode, and I actually got bored, and we needed to record today, so I was just like pause whatever.
I did it last night. I got bored.
I'll finish it eventually. I was keyed in on the score just to be like, yeah, this is fucking lackluster. It's just lackluster. The whole thing is just flat, boring. The casting is poor. Even if you didn't cast it correctly as far as aesthetics, they didn't look, correct, or it wasn't the best choice aesthetically.
Right.
The actors themselves, I think, are not really bringing out the essence of their characters very well.
No.
And it's probably because, like you said, the writing is shit. I think the writing is shit. And the plot itself is muddled and crappy.
It's all everywhere.
It's not great.
So
the only thing that's good about it is the CG is fantastic.
It's crisp.
That's where all that fucking $1 billion went.
The production value is awesome.
And the sets, when you have the practical sets, those sets, you can tell when it's CG and when it's not in some cases, and I can tell they built some grandiose sets.
Well, did you see the shot I told you about when they're on the horses? On the beach, did you get to that point yet? In this episode? When you get to that point, they do a slow down scene, and I don't know, depending on what kind of television you have as far as that, but it's obviously filmed in HD. But either way, that shot is amazing. Like, it looks aesthetically, it looks awesome. But you've just I know where all the funding went.
Right. It went into CG.
It's there again. This goes back to the Obi-Wan we talked about. It's not that it's because of what color they are. It's It's just shitty decisions. Shit rolls downhill.
Right.
It's poor management.
It's a shitty character, then it's shitty dialogue, and then it was shitty casting. And the other thing I noticed about the Rings of Power was some of the wardrobe choices are weird to me too. Like the one that stuck out the most,
they don't fit.
Is that the woman, the human woman in that village with where the black elf is, and she
in the Southlands.
In the Southlands,
yeah,
she is like she's like
a barmaid.
She's a barmaid, but also / medic or some shit like that or whatever, healer.
Write this down, Jacko.
Right, and she's wearing it looks like she's wearing a fucking sports bra. Yeah, it looks like she's like a mechanic.
So
it don't look right.
I was like, is she?
I've never seen cleavage in Lord of the Rings, honestly.
If you think about it, this might be a little, you can agree to disagree, whatever. If you watch the original trilogy, none of the women are ever really sexualized in that show.
Right.
So, and when I say that, I mean, obviously Liv Tyler is beautiful in those movies, but
she wasn't wearing a push-up bra.
But that's what I'm saying. We don't watch those films for that. That's not what any of us thought when you see those female leads who were in those films. This one was so off-putting. I was like, is she?
Look, even the dudes, I don't really recall a time like Viggo Mortensen took his shirt off and started flexing.
The only time you saw even his chest is when the necklace, when they would do that shot. But there, I'm like, why does she have a low-cut dress, but no one else does? I'm confused by this.
We'll preface this by saying, I ain't that mad about it.
I'm not mad. She's an attractive woman. I'm just saying,
just don't fit here.
She stood out, and not because of her acting or who they casted, but that was just, it didn't fit with the set. Yeah. I'm like, if were they going for that? If that's what you're going for, then you nailed it.
I think they were trying to be like, hey, look, this is an attractive woman, sexualize her. Here's the attractive elf, sexualize him. It's obviously they're going to hook up.
Yeah, of course. I
right?
know
they're trying to like set that at stage.
I know sex sells, and I know that most shows now have a love story intertwined somewhere in it. But I don't want, because Game of Thrones is pretty heavily sexualized, which is fine.
Well, yeah, but that's
sure.
It's about that.
Sure,
though.
but I mean, I don't
first
want
episode of brother and sister were fucking in a tower.
Of course, right. Well, I mean, they were bored, but I'm glad that I hope they don't sexualize or bring that into Rings of Power, because it's just not a place for it.
Yeah.
Like I don't. It's just not needed.
Right. So the people that are jumping all of the critics of Lord of the Rings, and especially,
I just don't know why the race card gets pulled.
Well,
I'm not a toxic fan.
Anytime that exactly, you're not a toxic fan, and it's not misogyny or racism that's causing you to have these opinions. No. You have these opinions because I have eyeballs. That's
it's
why.
shitty.
And I have ears and eyes, and I have a brain, and I've either read the books or watched the Peter Jackson movies, and so I'm basing it off of that, and so that's the reason my opinion is such.
Correct.
Right. So whenever someone tries to claim that it's because of those reasons, you can be like, "Go fuck yourself." I love House of the Dragon, and it has all of these aspects that you're talking about. That's important. The diversity aspect, has all of it. And the lead is a female lead.
Is a female lead, and she's
one
awesome.
of the main characters that's vying for power in here is a black dude. Right? There's a whole bunch of them. Right? Mm-hmm. And that show's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, Jacko, what do you think? You like it so far?
Oh, it's been absolutely great. I think Matt Smith has done a fucking great job as
exactly.
His name,
Damon.
He's basically not said a word all the way through, but he embodies that character so well.
Exactly. And I was really hesitant.
It's great casting. It's great writing. It's great filming. Everything about it has just been brilliant.
I forgot to mention this to you. So, I think it was the latest episode of House of Dragon. Jacko, you need to look out for this since you haven't seen it yet. So there's a point, and I'm not going to spoil anything specific. I'm just going to set the scene so you recognize it whenever you come across it. It's whenever I think it's Viserys is talking to Alicent, and she's full on. I guess that's not really spoiling because you haven't seen the episode 3 because there's a time jump. Anyway, he's in her room, and she's got like her little handmaids around her or whatever, and they're having like a little conversation. And it's at night, and it's all candlelit. If you look in behind her, there's like murals and shit on the wall. There's a mural on the wall of like figurines, like people, and they're straight up having an orgy.
Yes.
And you can clearly, as clear as day, you see a male figure butt fucking another male figure, and he's got a heart on. It's clearly what's happening in the background.
And I'm watching it, and because the show is so intense, you're in it, right? You're just committed. And I was like, it's funny you say it because I was looking, I was like, you kind of peek at the corner. I was like, are those dudes fucking?
Those dudes are fucking.
And I'm like, this is like in the main room. I'm like, does no one notice this mural?
Yeah, so anybody that's watched the show, go back and find that scene and watch it and pause, and you'll see there's a mural and there's two dudes butt fucking in the background.
Well, you remember what Prince Oberyn said before?
Yeah, it's like, this gives me pleasure.
And this gives me pleasure. Right. Yeah, and he grabs that dude's ass.
Why would I accept half the world's pleasure?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, great show.
Right. I know House of the Dragon has been it's been a bit of a great revelation.
In that same
the prequels normally go badly, right?
Yeah, they normally do. But
we can all agree on that. Prequels normally suck.
Yeah, but here's what makes House of the Dragon superior to the Lord of the Rings show. Because of our criticisms, we can't make those same criticism claims in House of the Dragon. That's the reason why I think it's more successful audience-wise, is because it is based off of Fire and Blood. So they're basing it off of a work of George R.R. Martin. It's not like they pulled it out of their ass.
Yeah. Right.
So why would they follow Tolkien's work when that's clearly not proven to be a massive hit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Right. So
why would they?
Right. So the House of the Dragon showrunners, they understand, like, look, we have source material that people have already consumed. It's it's probably sold billions of copies. Right. It's already an established, beloved franchise from the original Game of Thrones series. Let's just do that again. What's so hard about that?
Well, I need to find out the details to what happened because I want to know why they don't have the rights to those things.
Probably cost.
Well, it could be cost, but I mean, the family, it could be the Tolkien, because his eldest son, I think, is still alive. He's old. But I don't know if the family didn't want, I want to find out exact details because.
Well, it could be the same reason why, like, Spider-Man hasn't been in the MCU until recently, and he's not really, he's just tangentially attached to the MCU because that studio is not going to give up a cash cow rights to Spider-Man.
But my thing, if I was
whoever owns the rights to Silmarillion is sitting on it because they're like, I'm not giving this up.
But if it was I'm putting myself in their shoes for a minute here. If I was being approached by Amazon or whatever, with that kind of production in money invested to live on my family's legacy, if I had,
well, I'm not saying it's the Tolkien family that owns the rights to Silmarillion is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but,
it could be a movie studio.
But nothing's ever been done with it. Studio-wise, even film-wise, nothing's ever been done with Silmarillion.
Yeah, because nobody was dumb enough to spend $1 billion on this tripe.
But I'm just saying, if I was going to commit that much money, then I would want to do it to pay homage. I want to do it right. I'd want it done right.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, if Amazon came up and they had a certain number that they weren't going to go over, and they were like, this is how much we can spend on getting the rights to Silmarillion to make our show, and they go to whoever owns the rights to it, and the other person's like, no, fuck you, I can make more money by selling it to another studio.
Or holding out for Disney.
Or holding out or whatever, or I don't know who actually owns the rights to it. So maybe it is another movie studio that owns the rights to it, and they're like, no, we're going to make our own show. If we're going to make a show, if a show's going to be made about Silmarillion, it's going to be us. And Amazon's like, okay, well, fuck you, we'll just make our own thing. And then this is the result. Maybe that's what it was. That's just my guess.
But you don't know.
But anytime someone mentions, the race card or the sexist card or whatever on your opinions of Lord of the Rings, just be like, I love House of the Dragon, so you can go fuck yourself. It's because it's just absolutely superior. And I wasn't sure about
the Tolkien estate still owns the rights to Silmarillion, which is the primary source text that tells the story of the Rings of Power.
So why didn't they? It must be that they did not want
why
to pay.
Amazon doesn't have the rights? Because I want to know. There's more to that story. Let me look.
Probably cost. Imagine it's cost. Or the Tolkien family just didn't want to. Because I know they were butthurt about Peter Jackson for some reason.
I'm looking. Sorry, guys. I'm looking.
But, well, yeah. Jacko, I think whenever you give Lord of the Rings a shot and just watch it, and I think since you already have a correct opinion about House of the Dragon, then you'll be able to tell that's a stark difference with that show. It's so fucking bad.
Well, what I've been told about Lord of the Rings is the women are badass and the men are assholes, and it's all.
Yeah.
So if you watch,
easy.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like they're making a point to be like, women rule and boys drool. Like all the male characters are either pussies or they're kind of dickheads or they're bad or they've turned
their back
or they're incompetent or something like that. Like whenever that happens, like look, you could have if you want to make a character that's fucking incompetent and it's a male, that's cool, fine. But for it to be like all of them, like it doesn't make any sense, right? There's no and I don't mind. I like whenever a show has a female lead. To say that the male audience is upset that there's a female lead is just bullshit. Because
of course it's bullshit. Yeah. The Mockingjay stuff. What was that? Hunger Games.
Yeah, Hunger Games. The
Alien
series,
films, and it was a female protagonist.
Right. Alien series. Ellen Ripley, female lead.
100%.
Tomb Raider. We think Sarah Connor.
Look at Underworld. That is
fucking awesome series.
But even when Michael came about, he was I guess what do you call it? I'm about to fuck that up. Yeah, but they didn't make him a dumbass, and she was the lead, and she was fantastic.
Right.
So now, granted, that was done way back before this type of ecosystem we have now was there. So apparently, from what I just read, is that the Tolkien family never wanted to sell any of this stuff to movie companies, but he was forced to in the 70s because of money when he gave the rights to his companies to do the animated from 1970s The Hobbit.
He made a shit ton of money, and then he was like, never again.
But apparently, the family, the Tolkien Tolkien family still owns it. They don't want to sell the Silmarillion, which.
Why?
I think it's fucking stupid. But
until they got dollar signs in their eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they're holding out.
But see, they already got paid for Peter Jackson's works, and so now they got fuck you money, and now they can tell them to go fuck off.
What's happening now? And I didn't realize this. I read that the son, one of the eldest sons of Tolkien, but hates Peter Jackson. He does not like what he did to the films.
Well, I hate Tolkien's oldest son
because he was like, because I've recently, and Jacko, you might be able to add some enlightenment on this. I've just started audio listening to The Hobbit, or not The Hobbit, excuse me, The Fellowship, the first Lord of the Rings book, because I've seen the films, 100 times, but I've actually never listened or read the books. But he's saying that the films were dumbed down to a younger generation. But I'm like,
he says like an action movie for
they're not though, because I'm in like the first 5-6 hours of this book, and it's very childlike in the beginning. A lot of singing. There's a lot of like. I'm serious, Jacko. If you remember I don't know how long it's been since you read it.
It's difficult for me to remember.
Okay, well, I'm fresh because I'm still listening to it.
7, 8 years old.
Okay,
when
there you go.
Okay, so
I was saying, there you go. So you're 8 years old.
But there's these characters are fantastic. Like it's still a great book that I'm listening to.
They weren't talking about the politics of Middle Earth.
Yeah, Andy Serkis is doing the narration, which is great. But I'm like, there's huge sections that obviously you have to take removed to make a film. It's got to be entertaining. You can't have verbatim like everything it says. But yeah, like it's a lot of singing, and I'm like, this is all kid shit. Like I haven't even got to any killings yet. Like so when he says that, I'm just like, you sound like a dickhead.
Yeah, no, it's not a hard hitting political drama.
He turned him into a film. I'm like,
it's about hobbits and wizards and dragons and shit.
He entertained millions of people and made turned this. If that's all you had instead of this show, I would feel pretty great that he took those books that my father wrote and turned them into those in one of the glorious trilogy that it is.
I guess he would rather be poor.
Do you know the one thing I can't stand, guys, is people that always, like with Game of Thrones and stuff, that the books were better.
Yeah,
fuck. No, they weren't.
Fuck that,
I'm seeing this thing right in front of my eyes.
Yeah. That's what Joe Rogan talked about. Right. He was like, the books are better. No, they're fucking not.
Right.
They're not better.
There's not a fucking chance the books are better. Not a chance.
No.
Right. Well, yeah, would you rather
These
watch...
people that are like, oh, you've watched Game of Thrones. Well, I've read it. Well, good for fucking you.
I know, they act all superior.
Congratulations, here's your badge of honor. Now turn around and fuck off.
Yeah, and guess what? They're still watching the show. And if you ask them, like, what would you rather do? Watch it now? I'm going to go back and read it. No, you're not. Idiot.
Some people do that. I tried to do that with Game of Thrones, where I watched the show.
It's a hard read,
I got through and I was like, let me go read these books. And I got to, what was it? I got to Feast of Crows, which is, I think, one of the bigger ones in the series.
They're big.
And it was brutal. It was hard to get through.
Well, I mean, I listened to...
It defeated me.
I listened to it on audiobook. It took like 46 hours. That's how big the book is.
Yeah.
Dude.
Jesus
Christ. I'm telling you. It's like a manuscript. It is not better than the movies. Sorry, it's not. It was a difficult just to listen to because it goes way into fucking weeds.
Yeah. And I'm not big on reading fiction anyway. I read nonfiction. I
like
read about
fiction.
historical events or people or something like that, or someone's opinion about something or whatever. But I don't really like listen. I'm more of a visual person, so I would much like, to Jacko's point, I'd much rather if you were like, hey, here's an awesome story about like sword fighting and dragons and there's a bunch of fucking in it. Would you rather read it or watch it?
I'll watch it, of course.
I'd rather watch it.
Well, it's funny you said nonfiction. I'm like, I love fiction. Actually, my favorite book here this past year has been Green Lights with Matthew McConaughey, so it's nonfiction. I've listened to it. Yeah. I'm on my 4th listen. I love that fucking book.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I think the last time I actually read a novel, well, it was probably that Feast of Crows, Game of Thrones back in the day. I don't really read novels. No, I'd rather watch.
I was going to ask Jacko, like, what's some big shows over there? It was like the same fucking shit we watch, so never mind.
They have the BBC.
Yeah, but I mean, even so, a lot of those shows are on here too.
So. Well, that's true. What is I guess that's a good question for you, Jacko. What is your what's your favorite or current British only show? I mean, I know we can watch it over here in the States too, just like you guys watch our shit, but something that probably only Brits watch, English watch, that we don't.
I can honestly say that's not me. I've watched the same things you guys watch, Game of Thrones and stuff like that. I don't watch fucking Coronation Street like Snoop Dogg. I'm not that cool.
Coronation Street? The fuck? What is that? What's the new hotness? The hot show over in the UK right now. That's from BBC or whatever.
And don't say Doctor Who.
Fuck that show.
Well, that's where Matt Smith came from.
That is where he came from. But see, he was
also in Morbius.
Was he?
Yeah.
See, the first thing I saw him in, I did see him in Doctor Who, but I never watched Doctor Who. But I saw like posters and shit or clips and stuff. But he was in The Crown. He plays Prince Philip.
Okay.
In The Crown.
But, no, I don't think there's any real UK shows that I'm into, if I'm honest.
Nothing's like become like a cultural phenomenon in the UK over there.
It's all our shows.
It's all our shit.
I mean, it might have done, but I'm out of that loop, I guess.
I would say that is Hollywood is quintessentially American. I mean, it's probably our most original product.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You know what I mean? That we've been able to craft and create that nobody else can touch, can get close to.
That and gun sales.
That and weapons.
Yes!
Hells yes. We need to go shooting. I'm getting the itch.
Well, it's about to be season for clay shooting.
Yeah, I know. It's been too hot, so now it's cooling off. We definitely need to go clay shooting.
I'd like to go shooting, guys, but I'd get 20 years in prison.
Yeah, I know.
Jacko, what we need to do here...
If you come to the States, that's going to be like one of the first things we'll do, and we will fucking go all out.
Oh, yeah. We need to do... If you get a chance, Jacko, within the next year or two, or whenever you can, if you actually got a chance to plan a trip to come, we could really do a couple days and really do some sightseeing and see some cool shit.
A couple days, a fucking couple weeks.
And do a week or whatever. However long you're here, I could take time off work. We could really do a full thing.
It is actually a plan of mine at some point to come over to the States and do the whole road trip thing, from one end to the other.
We'd have fun.
Yeah, and we're close to Nashville, so you could do that whole Nashville area. That way you can really, if you come to the Nashville area, you can get your Southern American fix.
Oh yeah,
it's very you get all aspects of that.
I mean, Tennessee's a must because I want to go to the Jack Daniels place and.
That's right.
Oh yeah, that's supposed to be awesome.
Jack Daniels is your vice of choice. So
we would
definitely go to the distillery. Yep, we'll go to the distillery.
I've drank about 3/4 of a liter during this podcast.
Oh well, you're welcome.
You handle it really well.
Yeah, you did a great job.
But I'm British. What do you expect?
Exactly.
Oliver's screaming at me, but he can handle it.
Exactly. A bunch of insults and alcoholism. Is right. Insults and alcoholism.
I mean. Zach, you've been there when I've gone through 2 liters before, and we've been gaming.
Oh yeah,
I might get a little bit sloppy, but I'm still alive.
Right, you might be shooting in the corner, but
he's all strigged up.
That's right. But we need to do another drunk gaming session. That shit was fun as fuck.
Oof.
So yeah, I mean, if I ever come to Yankee Land, I'll come see you boys. I'll teach you how to drink. You can teach me how to shoot. Shit, you can teach me how to shoot after I teach you how to drink.
We'll do it at the same time. Yeah.
That'd be perfectly safe. I got air rifles. They're not as deadly.
Hell yeah, dude. We'll do that. You want to do that whole thing.
Give me a cop uniform. I'll create another George Floyd situation.
Whoa! Oh, shit.
Too far? Too soon?
Too soon? Oh, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Oh my God!
I'm going to be arrested after this, boys.
Well, you won't be till Monday.
That's another thing we had talked about. You jumping on the pod, and you were like, you're gonna have to watch some of the stuff you say because
he hasn't said anything. I don't think highly inappropriate.
Well, no, because it's not inappropriate. It's not that it would be inappropriate for our audience or whatever. Fuck, I was
you guys are protected from your constitution, whereas. Right. We can go to prison for things we say.
Right. Which actually happens. They had some... You've seen them videos or them news stories. They put some old dude in jail because he hurt somebody's feelings on Facebook. And just because it had, the insulted party was a minority or some shit. And it had nothing to do with race at all. Then the dude has to go to jail.
And the police officer actually says to the guy as well, it's because of your Facebook
because of your Facebook post.
Yeah,
you're going to jail.
That is grotesque. That is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life, if I'm honest.
Canada's like that too. Which I was, we were talking to
J-Dog.
Jay at work, right? And I asked him, is Canada still a Commonwealth of the UK, is it not? And he was like, no, so I don't think it is anymore. But they still, whenever they, their officials or whatever swear in, or if you become a Canadian citizen, they swear to the Queen. Because I saw a story today to where some Canadians might they don't. Well, whatever. But because I saw a story where some Canadians may have been the first subjects to swear to King Charles.
Felty.
So I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna have to find that. But Canada.
I like it. It's crazy.
Yeah, they probably apologize for it.
Yeah, you're probably right. And then
Yeah, see, I've got the whole American Canada thing down.
yeah, exactly. You get
Sorry
you get the America Mexico thing down. You might have to be careful.
Yeah, but that'd be really cool if you
That's
got
a touchy subject.
If you get a chance to come down, that'd be fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
100%.
I
I honestly think at some point in the future, I would actually like to live in America.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
100%.
yeah. I think I've heard
We could get you a job.
100%, especially if you're already in the telecom field.
You give me a job and I'm on a plane.
I mean, all seriousness,
they're like hurting.
you
for
really
people.
could. I mean,
Contractors
a
are
field
hurting
we're
for
in,
people.
we've been over for over a decade. So yeah, I mean, even with the company we're not with, the other company we used to be with, we could walk in the door there too.
Oh yeah, and the whole fiber infrastructure, like you mentioned, we've talked about this. Like, I don't want to get too much into the weeds on our specific industry, but the UK is like an island. Like, there's not much more fiber infrastructure that you can do, right? So the States is a large area that we've just now really gotten into rural fiber. So.
I actually believe the UK is roughly the same size as Alaska.
No, definitely not. Maybe.
No?
Alaska.
I believe it is. I believe the land span is about the same.
Let's see. What's the size of UK? It might be. I know Alaska's because I was there.
Zach said, "What does Jack know? He just lives there."
I know more about Alaska than he does the UK. I was in Alaska for
a week. That's right.
Well, yeah. You spent a week there. I spent 32 years here.
Because Alaska was a third the size of the continental United States.
But no, I believe Texas is bigger than the UK.
Okay, I'm looking at right here. The UK, it is definitely not third the size. It's definitely not the size of Alaska. Maybe on like a map because it's distorted, but the landmass, because our maps are actually not proportional. Like Greenland looks like a fucking map. It's just not the same. For looking here, if like a more northern part of Scotland is like Detroit, and the southern tip, I guess, is Atlanta. So that's like from Detroit.
I do believe Texas is bigger than the UK, though, right? Like the whole of the UK, not just England. The whole of the UK.
The whole of the UK. I think Texas and the whole of the UK are probably very close in size. Texas might be a little bit bigger, but it's just they're different shapes. It's kind of hard to kind of tell, but. Yeah, that's based off population. I'm trying to find like a map that has like the UK overlaid on the top of. Oh yeah, it's not even close. Yeah, like the UK can almost fit in. Yeah, the UK from northern tip to southern tip can fit inside Texas.
100%, 100%. Which is crazy, right? Because when you look at things like what you call soccer and I call football. Like the standard of athlete that comes through in English or UK football, why aren't America generating the same or tenfold amount of like prolific stars in soccer than the UK? It doesn't make sense, does it? Really?
I've talked about this before. When it comes to soccer in the United States, it is getting bigger. Nashville now is an MLS team. We have like the largest soccer stadium in North America now is in Nashville. So
I heard about that.
Built.
Yeah.
Geodis Park. It's I've been there. It's awesome. But so it's becoming bigger. And the thing that's always puzzled me about that sport in the U.S. is every fucking kid in America has played it.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's not a major
but why aren't you producing the superstars?
Right. Makes no sense.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, exactly. Because
we have like a fraction of your population, but we produce superstar after superstar after superstar. And you guys, I mean, Leeds United, the team I support, we've got an American manager. We've brought in a couple of American players. I don't know if you know them, Brendan Aronson and Tyler Adams.
Mm-mm.
These guys play for the US national team. They're fucking fantastic players, but
Yeah,
so like America does not create the kind of star that Britain does.
I think it honestly has to do. I mean, yeah, we have like 330 million people in the country, right? And so you're right. And every kid in America has grown up, at least a large portion. I mean, has played soccer.
I played 5 years.
Everybody played soccer when they were a kid, right? And I loved it. It was great. But maybe it's just something about. I think maybe when you get to high school level, then other stuff opens up. Football opens up to you. Even kids that
whoa! It's called colonial egg chasing, boys.
Okay,
we call it hand egg.
So what happens is those like the colonial egg chasers, they end up playing soccer on the off season. So you, I tried to say that as serious as I could.
I need to check my fantasy hand egg chaser.
It's colonial egg chasers.
Yeah. Colonial
that's
egg
fucking
chasers.
Hilarious.
Yeah, so I think that's that's honestly what it is because we also have baseball, right, which is a derivative of cricket.
Yeah, it doesn't have the segue into collegiate level and pro level. Yeah, it doesn't have that segue.
Baseball is very American. That was our American.
It also flips on its head. Like American football is starting to be a little bit bigger over here. A lot of people are following it more, but like American football, basketball, hockey. Like, we don't produce stars like you guys produce, but on the flip side, it's when you go to soccer, I'm doing air quotes, soccer, because it's fucking football.
Or soccer.
It boggles the mind. It really does. Like, different sports to different nations is like it's a real weird concept.
Yeah, it is. That's reason, especially that's the reason I think soccer is such an odd thing in the United States because if all the kids are playing soccer and they grow up playing soccer, why does that not translate to the professional level to where professional soccer in the United States is big? Because all the kids are already playing soccer, so they want to see their like favorite soccer athletes. I mean, I remember when I was going through, I went to soccer camp and I followed a semi-professional team, and I ended up watching some of them, and because one of the players was like our coach for the week or whatever at that soccer camp. So I mean, it's weird that so many kids play soccer, but it does not translate to professional success in this country.
Yeah,
but you're right. Football is the NFL, handegg, whatever, is becoming more international. Like we play games in Canada. There was I think there's a game that was played in Mexico, and then the Titans actually. I think the Titans played. I can't remember who they played. We played in London. They play games in London now.
Things like American football and hockey and stuff, they're just really starting to take place in the UK. Mm-hmm. People, they're starting to make teams and stuff on their own leagues. I mean, it's not massive. There's not millions in it like there's in America or like in football in the UK where there's millions in it. But it is starting to creep up. But it just amazes me that soccer, again, air quotes, soccer, hasn't taken off in the US like it has around the world everywhere else.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like Brazil's football is massive. Argentina.
Oh, yeah.
The UK, Germany, Spain, Italy. It's the biggest
Uruguay.
sport. It is the biggest sport in the world. Without doubt, it is the biggest sport in the world.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. As far as, number of viewers and, number of countries where it's the number one sport, football is the number one sport across the world. The only country where it's not is the U.S. And it's not even like it's...
U.S. is it?
It's not even, it's like third. It's like eighth.
That's right.
That's what I mean. It's way down the back.
Odd.
That shit is weird to me because it's like this universally loved sport across the world.
Right.
As soon as you hit America, they're like, yeah.
We also have our own unit of measure.
Watch a guy whack a ball with a wooden stick.
We also have our own unit of measure. Fuck your simplistic metric system.
fuck your yards, big time in meters.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing.
Yep. I always find that odd, but you're right. But it is getting bigger here. I mean,
it is. It'll pick up pace.
They're building like soccer specific stadiums.
It'll get bigger here in the next couple of years.
I know that the team. We've got an American manager and a couple of American players. That's really starting to take off in the US.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much you guys have heard about Leeds United, but it is really starting to raise its stock in the US, and we're actually making that side of the revenue side of things, shirt sales and stuff like that.
True.
It's quite big in America.
Well, another thing is, I think I want to watch it. Is there's Welcome to Wrexham, which is a UK team in the UK.
Yeah. Ryan and
Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney from Always Sunny.
Yeah.
Right, they bought that team, or they're something like that. And they're running it right.
A Welsh team, the sheep shagging.
Is it Welsh? Okay. So we'll. I think stuff like that is going to make it a lot more prolific. I guess Bend It Like Beckham didn't quite do it. There's probably a resurgence, but
the Francisco is part owners in Leeds United.
Who is?
Option to buy the club £1 million in 2024.
£1 million to buy it?
400 million, yes.
400 million. Fuck. Oh shit.
To buy the club, they've got an agreement in place with the current owner. If they have the option, basically, to purchase the club for 400 million.
Oh shit.
Which is not a bad investment when you consider rights alone in the Premier League. You get over £100 million per year.
Oh, yeah. So in 4 years, you've made your money back.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably very the NFL is king over here. Like football is number one. It's not even fucking close. It used to be baseball, but it's probably very similar. Like this reason why everybody wants to, all of the billionaires want to own a fucking football team.
I've tried watching American football. It's just, I don't know. It's just not for me.
Yeah, I think what we like about it in the States is the violence.
Rugby.
It's the violence.
It's gay rugby. It's gay rugby.
It is I looked at the history of it. Is you had football, which is soccer, right? Football,
right, of course.
Kick with your feet, right? And you can't use your hands and kick into the net. Okay, that's football. And then
you kick the ball with your foot, so football's a good call, right?
Right, it makes sense. It's phonetically right, exactly. The etymology of it makes total sense. So it went to Australia and New Zealand, the islands there, and they have football, and then they decided let me pick this thing up one day.
So it turned to rugby.
And run, and it turned into rugby. So it was actually called rugby football.
Which is fucking
what it's called.
Difficult to watch.
Right?
To be fair, in this country, it's also called Rugby Football League.
Right. So it is specifically rugby football. It's football, but it's rugby football, right?
Right.
So it's clearly letting you know it's a derivative of traditional football. Well, then rugby football came over, and it's American rugby football is technically the NFL, is the football that we enjoy.
Right.
It's American rugby football.
Yeah.
Right? So we
the main difference being you guys are all kitted out in helmets and shoulder pads and
those guys
and stuff. Whereas rugby players, they just knock each other's teeth out.
Yeah,
we're like neon gladiators.
And they're taping behind their ears so they don't get ripped off in the huddle.
Yeah,
I hope you guys don't lose viewers from me saying you're a bunch of pussies, but you know.
Yeah, there's a whole thing in the NFL right now where it's the whole appeal of the fucking sport is the violence of it. We got,
Of course. People love to see that shit.
Oh yeah, exactly. And then they're all wearing.
It's the reason why boxing is so popular and MMA is so popular. People want to see blood fly, teeth fly. They want to see people get hurt.
Exactly. I want to see somebody get knocked
It goes back to the gladiator days of Rome and stuff. It's what people want to see.
Fight for your freedom.
The thing is that if these guys that are playing professional NFL football were in those times, that's what they would be doing. They would be on some battlefield, cutting people in half. You know
or trying to
100%.
Right. Instead, we don't do that.
You, Josh, we would all be sat there watching it happen, watching it unfold.
We'd be like cheering,
recording of his lungs. Eating as popcorn, we'd be watching people get chopped in half, and we'd celebrate it.
Making bets, exactly. Who's going to get chopped in half, right? 100%, we'd be doing it. Exactly, because we're all. It doesn't matter if it's 1502, 5000 BC, or 2022. We're all the fucking same.
Most of us.
Because throughout history, violence has been celebrated as these people are our heroes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
and I think that is the primary appeal. Because it's it triggers our base instincts where we want to see the violence. Because we generally, because I feel like we're suppressed in our normal lives. Who hasn't want to slap their boss around, right? You know what I'm saying? Who doesn't want to punch somebody in the fucking face
daily?
But we can't. So we live vicariously through these 250-pound men that beat the shit out of each other for 90 minutes or whatever, right?
Makes sense to me.
Correct.
Yep. So I think that's what it is. It triggers our baser instincts. But now the NFL is becoming, they're so worried about all these injuries and concussions and shit like that, to where you can't even look mean at the quarterback.
You can't celebrate.
Right. If you give the quarterback a dirty look, then they'll call a flag, and you're like, the fuck.
This is the thing with the football at the minute in the UK. I don't know how much you guys have read into this, but there's a link between like dementia and other mental diseases linked to like heading a football, soccer ball.
Oh yeah.
Air quotes again. Right, there's a huge link between that. Like they're trying to find a way to try and cut that out of the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas heading in football, you jump up and you win a header. That has been a part of the game for hundreds of years.
Oh yeah.
But I'm trying to find a way to get around that, because it's causing people. Well, you get your brain rattled 100 times.
Well, what you signed up for.
The same as you are when you're 30, when you're 50.
Also being paid over here millions of dollars to do it. So I don't.
Yeah.
Really
you say millions over there. People in the UK are on like £300,000 a week.
Oh, it's amazing. That's great. And the thing is, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jacko. But like in I don't know. There's multiple leagues over there, but I think we'll just go say the Premier League, which is like the top league, right?
Yeah, that's the top league.
They don't have salary caps. It's whoever is who. Whatever.
No.
They
no
do?
salary cap whatsoever. You
Yeah.
can pay people whatever the fuck you want.
Right. That's one reason why I don't like baseball, is because the Yankees always are able to, like, it's always the Yankees. It's always the franchises with the most money that always acquire all the best players, and so they're always the contenders. Every once in a while, you have an outlier that will pop up just from getting lucky. But I like this. In American NFL football, I like salary cap because it levels the playing field. You can't just spend gobs of money and acquire all the best players and stack the deck.
They do have salary caps in rugby league and rugby union, the rugby side of the UK sport. But in football, it's anything goes.
Anything goes.
Right. I don't think people grasp the magnitude of the money involved in UK football.
Oh, it's insane.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
I want to say it probably pales in comparison to NFL salaries too, because obviously there's salary caps. So I think footballers are fucking grossly compensated.
You look at. Say the best footballer on the planet, everyone argues, is it Cristiano Ronaldo, is it Lionel Messi?
Yep.
But Lionel Messi, when he was at Barcelona, it was on like £500,000 a week. Mm-hmm. That's £26 million a year.
Well, look at David Beckham. Look how long his career has spanned.
Yeah.
He
just founded his own American football team, is he not?
That's what I'm saying. He's been, and he wasn't one of the greatest players ever. But still, he's had a whole career of that just from playing our soccer, their football, whatever.
He in my mind is like the Tom Brady of that sport, because he's
you
know what I'm saying. He's kind of Hollywood.
He came from Man United, so that's a bit of a sore topic for a Leeds fan.
Yeah, right. But and Tom Brady is the quarterback for the Patriots for the past fucking 40 years, right? Essentially, until he's now in Tampa Bay. But he's he's got a supermodel wife. He's tall, good looking.
That's how David Beckham is. He's got 20 years of marriage total.
He's the main player on a major top franchise, right? You know what I'm saying? One of the best, most well-known teams. And so you just kind of fucking love to hate him. You know what I mean? I feel like David Beckham and Tom Brady are like in the same wheelhouse, same kind, right? I did go to a soccer game, a football game in Nashville not too long ago. I really enjoyed myself. I will say this about that sport, the fans, is they really get into it.
They're like NASCAR fans.
And we're not talking about just like cheering. Like, I've been to plenty of football games, and you just, you cheer, you get rowdy or whatever, or you're like, let's go, and all, whatever. But when you're watching a soccer game, there's like singing and chants, and they literally encourage you, if you're sitting in the supporter section, they literally encourage you to say the most awful fucking things to the opposing goalie. Like, just really rip him a new asshole, right? It's amazing. And a lot of times there's some of the bench players are like warming up and they're running up and down the sidelines, and we're like yelling expletives at them or whatever, and it's encouraged. And I'm like, this is awesome. Right. And then I got into like some silly shit. Like I was like, you have a poor credit score, like saying dumb crap, like it made no sense. right? Kind of like tame shit.
Your parents said you were a mistake.
Right, exactly. You're adopted. Right, that kind of thing.
I think one of the best back and forths I've ever heard at a football game. I can't remember who we were playing, but we were actually there in the ground, and everyone. Do you guys know who Jimmy Savile is?
No.
Jimmy Savile was like a massive icon, and through the 80s and 90s, he did a lot for charity and this and that. But it turned out he was a weird paedophile guy.
Oh shit!
But it was from
on the field was the only balls he was playing with.
It was from like the Yorkshire area, and like whenever Leeds played anybody, they'll be like, "He's one of your own. He's one of your own. He's Jimmy Savile. He's one of your own." And when that chant ended, like all the Leeds fans would stand up out of the seat and just be like, "He fingered your mum. He fingered your mum. He's Jimmy Savile. He fingered your mum." And that is just that typifies the UK in all its glory. That is the banter, the sickness, the fucking. It's just great. It's just great.
That's amazing.
Right, I know. I mean, like I remember people were getting butthurt because whenever last year during the NFL season, people were chanting, or actually all sports, they were chanting, "Let's go, Brandon." Let's go, Brandon,
yes.
Right? And people got butthurt about that. Imagine if an entire stadium of people were like, "He fingered your mom." It would be so hilarious. Oh my god!
Because at first you'd be like, "What are they saying?" And then you'd be like, "That's amazing."
Yeah, dude. The only place I know that they do that in the U.S. is if you've ever been to. This is not a real sport; it's an entertainment thing. But if you've ever been to a wrestling match. I've been to WWE. They will do the whole crowd will yell some expletives out for that. Like I remember, I think I was 11, 12, something like that. About the same time I was, getting my pee-pee licked in a teepee. Was around that same time period. We went to a WWE match, and the one of the wrestlers' name was Al Snow. I can't remember exactly he had another persona or whatever. But we would chant Al Snow, but because my sister took us and she was older than us, and she was like, "Just say this, say Al Snow," because the entire stadium was saying "asshole, asshole," right? Which I thought was amazing. And when I was 12, right, probably the worst curse word I had said at the time was like "damn" or "oh shit" or something. Yeah. Well, not shit,
now
but "oh shoot,"
to asshole,
right? So I have an entire stadium of adults saying "asshole, asshole" was wild. But I can't imagine that happening like NFL or whatever. They would get all upset about that kind of thing. Actually, did you see the NFL season opened yesterday with the Bills and the Rams? Did you see that they didn't televise this, but I meant to look at the video. Apparently there was a streaker and he threw out a pink smoke bomb. And I remember when I was watching the casting, and I saw the pink smoke bomb, but I never saw the streaker, so they obviously never panned the camera right. I never saw that. Right? But apparently, I'm going to have to look it up because I think that's what it was. The streaker ran out there, and he threw a pink smoke bomb.
It's amazing.
And someone commented like, "These gender reveals are getting out of control."
I like that.
Oh my god, it was awesome. I did tell you about when we went to that fantasy football draft where we were at Nissan Stadium.
Yes,
that was cool.
Mm-hmm. You did.
That was pretty dope. So shout out to Nissan.
If you guys ever visit UK, I've got to take you to a Leeds United football game.
100%. I definitely want to go to just witness the football hooligans.
I want to scream "He fingered your mum."
Right, you can do it right now.
I swear to God, guys, like it will capture your minds and your souls. You will support Leeds United for the rest of your life.
Okay. All right. Beans and toast, all that.
Leeds United. Fuck.
But in the meantime, when you've got time, check out Leeds United.
I think I
will. You can always do with more fans.
Okay.
I think I will. Like I said, I've been to a game here in the States, Nashville Soccer Club. We don't. I haven't been following MLS for a while, but no. I think we don't. That's not really. We don't have like a mascot. Like all the other teams have mascot names.
Yeah, we don't really have one.
We don't really have one, but. That, and then I'm going to watch that Welcome to Wrexham. I feel like that'd be interesting. And
we all have our homework assignments.
It seems like the U.S. is getting a resurgence of respect for the sport, and they might be getting more into it. So I will check out some games, some good games. So because you always want to watch like the best.
I get it.
Anything,
yeah, absolutely.
Right? That's the reason why I never understood people that like,
I
only watch college football.
You know what it is with football / soccer? The games that are considered the best games, you're talking about games like Liverpool versus Real Madrid or Bayern Munich versus Barcelona. These games are going to be so tight, you're not going to see many goals and stuff, which I know is like what the American public feed off. They want action, they want results and stuff.
Right.
You're probably not best off watching the well-known games because you're going to find two elite teams that are going to be completely apt at keeping each other out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas if you watch a team like the team I support, Leeds United, we're newly in the Premier League. We've only been this is his third season this season back since like 17 years outside of the Premier League. We were in the league below for 17 years, or the league below that. I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, when we're back in the Premier League, this is his third season back, and it's like and anything can happen sort of thing. Like we went Chelsea FC are one of the biggest teams in England. I don't know if you know this, but we played against them. We absolutely dicked them. We dicked them so bad. They're one of the best teams in England, and we smashed the fucking life out of them. And then we come up against a team like Brighton, who were so lesser known. You guys probably don't even know what a Brighton is.
No.
Do you know what I mean? But
is that near the Shire?
We got absolutely battered by Brighton or Brentford. We got battered by, and this is what I mean. Like a team like mine is going to go up against the big teams, the small teams, and you're going to see a varying level of results. Whereas if you watch one of the top teams, you're always going to see a tight, close-knit game with not many goals and stuff, and it don't really capture the mind of the average viewer.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, the comparison to that for the rest of the audience is like if you watched if you've ever watched a football game and it's like a purely defensive game, low scoring, it's just like a defensive contest. I think the difference would be is that at least they're still bashing the fuck out of each other, which is
it's
fun
still
to
entertaining.
Watch.
Yeah,
right, but there's just not a lot of scoring going on. I think you're right. I think stuff like the NFL, that's the reason why a lot of people don't watch baseball anymore, is because there's not a lot of scoring. It's just basically just watching the pitcher and whoever's at bat the entire fucking time, and they either walk or strike them out, and you're just like, this is boring as fuck. Right, I'm just not into baseball for that reason.
Same.
I think so football has more action. So that's probably the reason why that sport is not really kicked off like the other ones, just because everybody likes the action of it all.
That's what. I mean, I've spoke to you about this at length, Zach, and we both know you want action, and that's why you said you're not really into football.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, it's the low scoring for me. Although when you're there and whenever they're driving the field and they're getting close and they're gonna score, I mean, hockey's a lot the same way too. They're not high scoring games, but when they getting down there close and they're taking some shots on net, you're like, you get you jazzed up, and then of course then they the goalie blocks it and you're like, fuck, and then they come back. I do get the excitement, but I think it's one of those sports. I think the reason why the NFL is king over all those sports is because the NFL is something you can watch on TV. You can get the same kind of feeling. Actually, I know people that prefer to watch it over on TV than be there because you can see more of the action on TV, right? And you get a better sense of what's happening. You can see these hits, but other sports, I think it's better to be there in person to really get a feel for the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'd agree.
100%.
Right. And I think that's the case with probably soccer, traditional football. That's the case, I think, with hockey. That's the case with NASCAR. Same thing.
Yeah, I can vouch for that.
It's much better being.
It is.
You don't get a sense of the speed of those cars watching it on
or
TV,
anything,
right?
really.
Anything,
the whole.
It's much
atmosphere.
better being in person. But the NFL, I think, is uniquely positioned to be something that it's some people actually prefer watching on TV. You really,
you see, I've tried watching American football, but when there's a dickhead stood in middle of field and he's throwing so up in air that one's on the floor, and you're like, what is this knobhead doing? You know what I mean? Like, here's my flag. I'm going to fucking toss it in air and let it fall to the floor to show that there's been something wrong. Get the fuck out of here, man.
It was the flag that did you in. That's funny. I think what I like about it is the violence, but it's also the strategy.
If that makes sense. Like the referees in, again, air quotes, soccer, they do try and like pinch the whole fucking show, but in America, it just seems like American football, the refs they are actually part of the show.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And sometimes people have complained about that. So there's some games that you watch, and it seems like you're like, can they just fucking play?
Oh yeah, there'll be a flag on every play.
Yeah, exactly. Every fucking play, it's like, oh my god, offensive holding.
They're trying to make it more about them than the actual game, right?
Yeah, and there's it's not like it's the ref's fault necessarily. I mean, the thing is, some refs are, and that can become like a whole like contention with games. Is like, the ref. It wasn't for the fucking ref, we would have won. That whole thing. Like the ref shouldn't be part of the game, but sometimes they do, and they change the rules every year. Or they try to like trim around the edges, and where they're trying not to, but if there's clearly a penalty that's going to happen, they're going to do it. But I can understand from someone who watches traditional football primarily, and you're trying to watch that, you're like, can these motherfuckers, can they just play? I can understand that criticism, because that's how I'm saying criticism.
That is exactly why I can't watch American football, because it's too stop-start. And
I can see that.
When the referee's like got his chest puffed out and he's throwing this thing up in air, and it's like, dude, just fuck off.
Right.
Just let them get on with it. These guys are paid millions to do the job, and you're trying to make it all about you.
Yeah, I get that. I can understand that, but it's just, I think it's the violence and honestly the strategy. If you know more about like how football works as a sport, then you get a deeper appreciation for it, but on how hard it is to actually progress down the field. And you can see it on TV. Yeah, right. There's always like that one Madden play where you can just spam it the whole time and you'll score a touchdown every time. But and the other thing that's really, I think, cool about it that you do get when you go in person is the size of these motherfuckers. They're so fucking big.
Oh yeah, they're big dudes.
They're so big, and to see them be able to run that fucking fast and then collide is amazing.
It's good shit.
Well,
I mean, we get that similar thing with rugby, though. I mean, there's a total contrast. Like football, you pass forwards; rugby, you pass backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, being a big guy myself, I used to play a lot of rugby. And I think that's why I can't really get on board with the American football thing, because you're passing forwards, you've got this helmet and these big shoulder pads, and when I was a kid, I mean, I've got a tooth missing right now from my mouth where someone kicked it out of my face.
Well, you know what?
After they broke my fingers by stamping on my hand with their studded boots.
Oh Jesus!
And that was high school, and high school in the UK is from 11 years old to 16 years old, or at least it was. It's changed now. They keep them till like 18. But when I was in school, you only stayed in high school till you were 16 from 11.
Mm.
I think I were about 15 years old. I had my hand stamped on. And as I was like rolling around on the ground, holding my hand, I'm in pain. Someone kicked me in the face and it knocked a tooth out of my head. And it caused a massive brawl and stuff. So when I'm watching American football and they've got these helmets on and these shoulder pads on, and it seems a bit pussy to me.
I get you, yeah.
That makes sense.
I was 15 years old getting the shit kicked out of me. So watching these fully grown 6'3" men, 200 pound, just covered in all this protective gear, and I'm just like, you're a pussy.
Take that shit off. Tackle me like a real man.
Just take that shit off. You'll run faster. What's up with you?
Yeah, that's true. Believe it or not, I actually, when I was in college, we tried to start up a intramural rugby league at Austin Peay, the college I went to, and so we played some. And we started to try to learn rugby and the rules and everything like that. Apparently, there's like two different styles when it comes to some of the rules.
There's rugby union and rugby league.
Right.
Rugby league is what I like. I can't stand rugby union because it's just two teams kicking the ball at each other to try and gain ground and stuff, whereas rugby league's a bit more, you get the ball to the man makes up the ground and runs into the tackle, and I think that's the one we did, because I don't remember a whole lot of kicking. I mean, you could obviously get down to a certain point, you can kick it through the posts, but to score like 1 point as opposed to, I can't remember the scoring, but you score less points, but it's way. You get the ball over the line, it's 4 points, and after you've scored that, you take a kick from where the runner started from for the try. The try is the 4 points. And you kick from where the run started for the try, it'll give you 2 points. Right. Or if you kick over the post in open play, it's 1 point. So we tried to do that, the league, intramural league, and it was just a collection of just people just curious about the sport, so we were going to give it a try.
And there's actually a video of me out there where someone was like filming this, and I ended up getting the ball, and I was running out, wide right, and I'm getting around the scrum because the scrum just happened and it popped out. I picked it up and I'm running out right, and you can see the camera like follow me, and I just get fucking lit up from the other direction. I disappear to the left side of the screen, and the cameraman had to like go back, like, oh yeah, he's on the ground. So that happened, and honestly, truth be told, like it looks worse than it actually felt, because I think when you're not wearing all those pads, no one is like running their crown of their skull right into your face. You know what I'm saying? Right. They're not going to do that.
But also the adrenaline of the occasion overtakes the pain. Like I can tell you, when I had like my fingers broke, I was rolling around on the floor in agony, and then like, because I'm what you would call a prop forward, so I was the guy you would give the ball to run the ball forward. I would barge through people and I'd get the ball as far forward as you can. I was like the battering ram of the team, and because I'm rolling around holding my fingers and then someone kicks me in the face and my tooth falls out my head, like the fingers really hurt. But when I got kicked in the face and my tooth fell out of the head, it was like the adrenaline took over, and I bounced straight to my feet. I've headbutted someone. The whole fucking both teams started fighting and fucking punching each other, and it all just turns into a massive riot. That is the kind of shit that it's what makes men.
It's
what makes men.
I think I gave up on rugby whenever I tried to tackle a dude, and he was probably like 6'3", 220, something like that. He was a big dude. And actually, he's probably weighed more than that. He's probably like 250, 260. He was a big dude. And I'm 5'9", like, if that. And at that time, I was a lot skinnier than I am now, so I was probably like $160. And I tried to tackle him, and the tackle that I did was like, I was coming at him he was running like straight, and I was coming at him from the side, and so I like tackled, and I ended up tackling high, and I ended up like ringing around his neck, like I did like a full spin around his neck, like a goddamn carousel, and it ended up like wobbling at the top. So he like wobbled at the top like a top, and he ended up falling over. Well, he ended up falling over directly onto my chest, and I ended up like cracking 2 ribs.
Oh,
right. And I was like, of course I get up, I'm like. All right, I like lost my breath. I couldn't breathe.
His roof.
It fucking sucked. And so
rugby is the only sport in the world where if you like make a tackle and the other guy stands up and you get into a fist fight, other than hockey, of course.
Yeah.
You get like temporarily timed out. It's not like no, you can't play anymore. It's no, you just go on our 5 minutes. Calm down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hash it out and let's continue the game. Yeah, and so. Yeah, that was fun. It's definitely a violent sport. Rugby is fun. It's cool, but I think it's just I'm surprised that has not gotten more traction. I think maybe it's just because people were more used to football, so they just rather watch football. But yeah, I did enjoy that. That was short lived, but it is definitely an interesting sport. It definitely can. I can see Americans watching that sport over anything else.
Oh yeah.
Well,
it goes back to what I was talking about before with the Romans and the Colosseums and stuff. Yep. It's about blood and guts and glory.
Yep.
Honestly, I really think if you actually did that, if you did like a what was that movie, Running Man, with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where they put like the criminals and shit in the arena and they like killed. Honestly, if they did something like that, the ratings would go through the fucking roof.
Oh, dude!
In the
through
States.
the roof,
guarantee
100%.
100%.
Guarantee it. Because as long as you get past the moral issue, like, oh, these were like rapists and murderers, like who cares? And then you have like some jacked fucking character come out like professional wrestlers.
Yeah.
Except they kill people.
Right.
That would be awesome. I would be all about that.
Yeah, people would watch that. Oh, dude, it'd be the number 1 show ever made.
Exactly. Oh my God. Well, fuck, we are creeping up on 2.5 hours, which is going to be our longest episode ever. You're welcome.
It's a special,
people. It's
episode
a special.
20.
So we did this for the Queen. This is all for the Queen. R.I.P. May she forever reign in hell or heaven, wherever she's at. I don't know.
Well, I'm just glad Jacko got to come on the show. That was cool.
Yeah.
I already told you she's having a death match with Diana in heaven.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
It's like celebrity death match, like the claymation fighters. Remember seeing that shit
on
MTV? Yeah,
I used to
like
love that when I was a kid. Fucking Celebrity Deathmatch.
Oh hell yeah, dude! I love that shit. Watch it, and that's basically what we're talking about. Like if it's claymation fighters like decapitating each other, but like in real life.
Yeah.
Like we want to see it, right? Obviously. Well, I think we should cut this off, and we'll see y'all next week. Again, like, subscribe, share 10,000 people.
Thanks.
Give some comments.
And thanks for your time, Jacko. Appreciate being on.
Yeah,
Dude.
we appreciate Jacko jumping on.
Yeah, anytime, man. I mean, if the fans love me, I'll come back.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We're gonna try to do this more. I won't say every week because we're gonna have a special guest on, but we're gonna try to do it more and more as the
I think I'm starting to enjoy having the third. I like it.
Yeah, I kind of like it. You have kind of a fresh voice.
Well, this will be the first phone call too with the whole interaction. So I'm glad that works as far as on chat. So that's cool.
And hopefully my sound engineering worked out. But yeah, I think we'll have you on again, Jacko, and you are also a listener. So unfortunately, you won't have an episode to listen to this week because you were part of it.
Yeah, I know. I'm a bit upset about that. I'd listen to this shit at work and have myself a chuckle when you make your Freudian gay slips and. She's obviously been with way more dudes than me.
Oh, shit was so funny.
I give people.
I swear to God, when I listened to that episode, man, I literally just took a sip of my coffee when he said it, and then you went, "What?" As soon as you did that, it was like a Triple H spray across my room. It was just fucking unbelievable. I soaked the entire place.
That's the best.
I heard what you heard instantly when you heard it. It was like, "Fist like with way more dudes than me."
I'm like, gay.
I know. I get messages from some of my friends about that. Like
that was glorious.
The gayness, and also apparently want to fuck my cat because I keep having dreams about like my ex-girlfriend turning into a cat and all this weird shit.
The whole thing is great.
Right.
Yeah. Your ex-girlfriend said, "Oh, cat, I've already given you my theory about that, right?"
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
You really want to fuck your cat?
Come here, Steve. All right. Well,
bend over and take it like a slut, Steve.
So basically, it's good morning to Jacko, and enjoy your Saturday.
Exactly. Have some beans on toast and take a nap.
I work night shifts. It's 4 a.m., so I probably won't get to bed for another 3-4 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, shoot, we can keep it going if you want, boys.
Yeah.
I usually outlast you all anyway.
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah, probably. Like I said, longest episode we've had so far. So it's just because I'm really enjoying that. I don't like to. I kind of hate to stop whenever we got a good conversation going.
Yeah, but you got to think of our audience,
right? They don't want to sit here for 4
I mean,
hours.
as long as it's not affecting Josh's marriage, we can keep going, right?
Well, I guess that's true.
No, my wife's cool. She's a big fan. She's listened to all the episodes too. She's a big fan of the show.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, anyway.
I mean, that could also be an interesting interaction if you get your wife on and then get me on.
Yeah, we might start doing a little mix and match situation here.
That's true.
That'd be cool.
Because she was on last
I mean,
episode.
she's never met me. She might think I'm a vile bastard.
Well, you are, but
she's
right.
Yeah.
You love me,
right? I enjoy that, right?
Yeah. That's good.
I don't like boring ass people talking about the weather. I'd rather hear people chanting about fingering moms or whatever.
Mums.
Oh, dude, that is the best shit ever at a football game. When that shit comes up, it's so good because it's just like a completely fucking perfect retort.
Right.
They say, "Eat one of your own," and we really think it's your mum.
Great, and it's tens of thousands of people all in unison saying it. It's just the best part about that.
Correct.
Right, exactly.
But maybe we should end on what we think about the Queen.
Our final thoughts of the Queen.
I will say, just as I don't know her personally, obviously, but I know she had a pretty high astute in that particular country. So I don't have anything negative to say. I mean, rest in peace. I mean,
right.
That's still. I don't know enough about her to really give an opinion on it. I mean, but she was old. So I hope she went peacefully. I will say that I hope she went peacefully. No pain. So
96 and she took the throne when she was 25.
I will say, out of respect professionally, I think that's astonishing. That's a long time to be in any kind of position of even or the regular workplace That's unheard of. So, hats off to you.
Only queen I ever knew.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, I don't have a...
The only queen I ever knew. And
Right.
it's the only queen most people on this planet ever
so
knew.
I
That
think...
is the whole point.
Right. Yeah, I think it's definitely a big deal, even though I don't live there. But,
Right.
I mean, I know we joke and stuff aside, but joking aside, I think it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I think it's... My general take on it is, like, I don't really care from a operational standpoint. I don't give a flying fuck about the royal family, right? You know what I'm saying? They don't do anything especially the United States. They don't do anything for me. But she was a symbol. She was an icon for a long fucking time.
Yes.
She represented a time and tradition that we don't really do anymore.
That's correct.
Right? That, no matter all the kind of crazy shit that's happened in the world, there was still the fucking queen there, right? Mm-hmm. So I get that part of it, right? Mm-hmm. We don't really have that same kind of thing in the States. So to me, when I see people getting all upset or whatever, having any kind of emotion about the queen, I'm like, you're a fucking American. Like, we did a whole revolution.
I'm not going to
have to give a flying fuck about the
I'm not going to be
family.
fake about it,
right? So that when I see Americans getting all about it, I just like,
the
okay.
red coats and the blue jackets.
Right.
So what do you think, Jacko?
But
in terms of what?
Well, I just meant in general. You asked. That's what our final thought. Yeah, your final thoughts being.
Sorry, say it again. You both spoke at once.
Your final thoughts on the queen. To round this out in the episode. I know you're not a royalist, but
it's very weird because from being a child to being an adult, her face has been on my money. It's been on my stamps. It's been. It's weird because she's been the one constant throughout my life, more than anything else. If that makes sense, the Queen has always been the Queen from when I was born to now. That has always been the Queen, and even 40 years before I was born,
right?
The people that were born to now, but like my dad is he was born in 59, so he'd be 63 this year. Mm-hmm. My dad will be 63 years old this year. He has still only known one monarch.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That is crazy. That is fucking ridiculous.
It is kind of nuts.
If you put it that way, it really is. So
right.
Respect the game.
For a long fucking time, the UK has been synonymous with Queen Elizabeth.
It has been the one constant throughout almost everybody in the UK's life that this one woman has been the head of the monarch, and we're in for a period of change, and let's see what it brings.
I'm actually kind of curious.
Will he involve himself more?
Yep,
or less?
I'm curious to see how it's going to work out because, like you said, if it's going to be King Charles for a hot bit, he's also really up there. So,
I'm 73 years old, I believe.
Right, and he don't look good.
No, hopefully he'll die soon too, and I'll get another day off work.
There you go. There's our final thought right there.
Okay. Thanks, Jagger, for reeling it back in.
Right. Before we end this shit, guys, before the pod, I spoke to you both, and now that at the end of the pod, I'm going to speak to you both again. Your favourite opening scene from your favourite movie. I need to know this. And now I'll go first.
Okay.
My favourite opening scene from any movie ever is from my favourite movie ever, Full Metal Jacket.
Fuck, it's a good one.
That is the best opening scene of any movie ever, and I challenge you both to beat it.
Fuck, I think you're right. We play that all the time. And just get a fucking giggle out of it every time.
There's no better opening scene to any movie on this fucking planet than Full Metal Jacket.
So, I don't want to... I'm trying to stick to what he's saying. I have a favorite scene.
But it's got to be
It's got to be open. Scene. That's what sucks. Because the first thing when he says scene comes to mind is one particular scene in a movie. And it's quick. That's one of my favorites to this day.
What is that anyway?
Well, he said opening scene. I don't want to fuck that up.
Oh, okay.
But I do have a favorite scene of a movie. Like, it's by far one of my favorite shots. And there's no talking. There's no dialogue. It's my favorite scene in a film. It's super gay, but I can't help it.
Favorite opening scene. I'm trying to think. It might be... I'm trying to think of some older movies, but there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of great scenes. But what is a really good opening scene? I mean, I already mentioned it.
You got to pull from the stock. That's
I'm going to have to think about this.
That's a good one.
Oh, fuck me. I mean, I mentioned as an example when we were talking about this earlier when the episode started was the opening scene of The Matrix, which is a good scene. We had Trinity getting chased by the agents.
Man, to compare it to what he said, dude,
No,
that's a tough one.
Honestly, I think you might be right, Jacko. I think that scene is fucking phenomenal. It really
Are
is.
you gay, soldier? No, sir. Liar. I bet you could suck a golf ball through a garden hose. Now drop down and give me 20 before I gouge out your eyeballs and scalp.
Let's go, bro.
Is that his American accent? Jacko just did?
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Eat that fucking line.
Oh,
Dude, Jacko's American accent is fucking trippy.
spot on. Actually, you know what? We probably could, because we say all sorts of crazy shit. We could end the episode with that scene. It's a great scene. We used to play it all the time.
You can't.
It is the best scene ever. I don't care what anyone says. In the scenes of cinema, that is the best opening scene for a movie.
Yeah, I know about copyright.
So as far as ranked,
and people are going to cry and say, "Oh, it's racist, it's sexist." Go fuck yourself. That is the best opening scene to a movie on this fucking planet.
It is hilarious.
as
It's
of 2022 July, they said the best one of all time ranked was Saving Private Ryan was number one.
Oh fuck, that is a really good one. When they're storming Normandy Beach. Yeah.
Jaws got voted number one for the opening. Godfather, Social Network.
You fucks weren't there at Normandy, were you?
No.
No, you jumped in at the end and took all the fucking glory.
Yeah, no, that was an Allied invasion. We did that too. You guys also, I mean, you were there. I think it was a different section.
I played both characters on Call of Duty.
Right, exactly. I played all the Call of Duty campaigns, so I know what I'm talking about.
Basically an expert.
Yeah,
If you want to end it with that scene, you can. That'd be fine.
Yeah, I would say that. I'm kind of curious about this. We might. I'm gonna stew.
I am too. I'm gonna stew back. We'll bring it back and bring it up.
And then we'll next episode.
That's not bad, boys. I won't be here when you fucking talk about it. I want to know now.
All right. Well, I'll let you know privately.
I can do that.
Because I can't think of one right now. I mean, I can think of a bunch of scenes that I do like, but and some even opening scenes that pop to mind. But to pick my favorite one, I don't know.
Oh, I have mine. Forrest Gump. That's one of my favorites.
That's a good one.
Forrest Gump.
That's a pretty good one.
That's mine, Jacko.
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Well, it's just the music, that whole. I like that whole thing because anytime I hear that, it's like comfort food. I'm going to watch the movie.
I will say mine. Mine might be a little easy.
Go ahead.
But it's iconic, and it triggers, nostalgia and my love for the genre. Is the opening to New Hope.
It's good too.
Right? When it's chasing down that the Alderaan frigate. You see the Star Destroyer.
Oh yeah, the Republican cruiser. Oh, the whole thing.
That's a
the
great
whole
scene.
thing. Yeah.
And then you see Vader. The whole thing. He chokes dude out.
Yep.
That whole opening scene is fucking amazing.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, those are all three good. I still think Jacko's is probably that's a solid one. But Forrest Gump, it just popped in my head. I'm like, that is one of
With the feather.
Or A River Runs Through It. We'll tie for my second.
Yeah.
That's good too.
I don't know, man. Full Metal Jacket. It's
a good
like
one.
my favorite movie on this planet. It's the favorite beginning on this planet. The movie from start to finish is flawless. And if you haven't seen it, go
watch it.
fucking watch Full Metal Jacket. Please.
I think what we just said was our favorite opening scenes actually personifies our personalities.
Oh fuck that! Yes.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa!
You know what I'm saying? Like it
You're
makes
giving
sense.
me out to be something I'm not.
Yeah, because I'm egotistical. So
But you just said you like a good insult to good banter, and that's what that opening scene is in Full Metal Jacket. It's just like really ribbing
that's
somebody.
basically UK culture
Right. It really
on an American
insult.
U.S.
Dude,
Army
I
base.
swear to God, man. I've always imagined that's what the US Army is like, and
It used to be because
Gives me so much respect for our armed services.
he used to be an actual drill instructor.
Well, I was in
that's
the
all, and
I
that's
was in the
all,
Navy. It is like that, except more penis.
That actual scene too, Jacko,
More
is
penis.
actually not scripted. That's all him from his drill sergeant days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am not even slightly surprised. I mean, Zach, you was in the military, right?
Yep.
You was Navy.
Yeah, it's like that. It's not quite. It was not quite as colorful as the way he was able to like really paint a picture with his insults, right? But they were very, degrading and cussed you out. And
I mean, I imagine if these days he went, "Oh, soldier, you got a penis, not a vagina," he'd probably be in prison, right?
yeah, see, and I was in the service before we got woke, so thank God, because it would have been like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when I was going through Rush and I wanted to be hazed. Like it's just part of it, right? You don't want to.
It is.
You got to get the full experience, but yeah. So I went with something super nerdy, and you're really into. I can see where that would be your opening scenes. Like
I tie a lot of emotion to the films
the emotion,
that I watch.
right? You're a big Nicholas Sparks fan, so it makes sense, right? And then
rom-coms,
and
coming
all
of age, teenage love stories, the whole fucking thing.
Exactly.
American Pie.
I like that. So I think our opening scenes match. It fits.
Oh yeah, it does.
Right. And I'm a big fucking dork. Okay,
well, it's been a fucking pleasure, boys.
Yep, it's been fun.
Yeah, Jacob, appreciate it, man.
We'll end this thing, and we'll see you all next week.
I won't, because I'm not a weekly guest. Because they don't want to be successful, apparently. They're just going to leave the Brit out. Which, I don't know.
Well, we'll get you back on for sure. Unless the audience fucking hates you, then you'll never be on again. Right?
Keep your
No, but that's the thing. Even if the audience hates me, I'm a great guest to have. Because they're going to tune in just because they fucking hate me.
Right. We will let the audience decide.
So, fuck you, you American cunts.
Yeah.
You stole a country from us.
You guys weren't doing anything with it. You're letting the Indians run around rampant. We had to handle it.
You're welcome.
Right, you're welcome.
Sure, you red jacket.
All right, you limey bastard. Peace, y'all. We're getting out of here.